You know what I mean? For
Where do
movies,
you
I
think
think
I
Signal
think
is at?
they're well done. They're well made. The
Y'all
casting
wrong, bro.
performances are cool.
Y'all wrong, bro. The one with Tobey Maguire, his Spider-Man had the most emotion out of any of them.
Oh
Like
my!
the way,
But all of
when
that
he, when
emo
he,
shit with Spider Man, like,
listen to what I'm saying when I'm saying that. I'm talking about when
Emo
he's
shit.
in the middle of a situation or something where he yell out MJ and like
yeah,
you
yeah,
actually
yeah.
feel him.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm saying?
true.
Like
That's
and you feel the
Yeah,
turmoil.
but I kind
Yeah,
of
he
also
wasn't a
like the
good
goofy,
Peter. Yeah, the
lighthearted,
goofiness.
funny
Yeah.
Spider
You
Man.
know,
Like
Peter
that is
portrayed.
like I feel like we lack that in both iterations of Spider Man with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Like
I thought
this one,
Andrew was a great
even though
Spider-Man.
he's younger and whatever, and they fucked up with Brad or whatever his name is, the bully. Like he like
Flash.
what Flash? Thank you for
You
whatever
gotta
it is. Like
remember
it
Brad.
like.
He said it right.
Yeah, I mean, I just chose some white name and went with it. But like
So you
to
don't
me,
know niggas named Brad?
I don't think for what they tried to do and how they rebranded Spider-Man, it works. I'm tired of the sad, emotional crying.
The
Yeah,
new
like
the
we
new
need to
comics
we need
have
to like
Tom Holland, right? Or yeah, that's his name, right?
Yeah, that's
But
it.
but
you mean the new
but
movies?
let me
Yeah.
ask y'all this: what was the best Spider-Man movie? Period.
Spider-Verse.
Two,
Uh,
two.
I still
Nah,
ain't
So
seen
live
that
what?
action
bitch.
So
ones.
I'm not gonna
The
speak on the
original
Live
Spider-Man
action ones
I
two,
ain't
too.
going.
but
Original Spider-Man 2 is the
Spider-Man
best one
two,
ever.
it got to be
Yeah,
Spider-Man
well, I
two
was
with
gonna say
Doc
it was
Ock.
Spider-Man 2 with Homecoming.
I
If
ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna speak on the new joints because I ain't watched them shit yet. So
I mean, if you're talking about like
I ain't
just
watched them shit
live
yet.
action, then yeah,
Hmm.
Shit
Spider-Man 2
show.
all time. Spider-Verse was the joint, bro.
Oh yeah, no, Spider Verse is fire, like just awesome. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
It is.
like
No,
I
no,
mean,
I said it
Spider
before.
Man
It's
Two
fine.
is amazing.
The
You know what I
Spider-Man
mean?
2 is amazing though. Like, but I think that's the only. I
Spectacular.
literally
Like
remember going to
it's
see that
amazing,
shit in the
amazing.
movies.
Yeah, I saw it in movies too. But again, like
That's the
how
only
much
movie.
is that?
Yo, Most.
Like even
That's
when
the only movie my
now
aunt
it's
ever
cool.
took me to go see.
Hmm?
Now that I think about it,
Which one?
that's the only movie my aunt ever took me to go see. Spider-Man 2, nigga. I
Uh,
remember
Dude,
that
no,
going to
since
see that
that's the same thing with me.
specifically.
That's the only movie that my cousin ever took me to see. That's like the first movie I ever watched that wasn't
look,
on like
I
a
mean,
school
like
trip or
that
something.
movie is fantastic, but a lot of that got to be attributed to the fact that we were all mostly young when we saw that movie.
Yeah,
That's
anything that
true.
seemed
I
really
still
good
think
and
it's a
shit.
great
Yeah.
movie though. That's true. I'm like,
It's a good ass movie for sure. But I don't think these new ones that Marvel is doing. I don't think they're not butchering the character.
We talking about
Not
the one
even slightly.
with Doc Ock, right? That's the second one.
Yeah. The one with Doc Ock. Yeah.
I think the only thing that bothered me, like looking back at it in retrospect, is the whole sun thing that was occurring. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
besides
yeah.
that, it was
It was fine.
yeah.
It was fine.
I kind of like the third one. I know critically it was like horrible. Niggas were trashing it. They still trash it. I, I don't know. I guess I just like the fact that there was like three villains at the same time and shit. They all had like
Oh yeah, no, I like the third one. I was really contemplating the third one in my head. Like I feel like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans are very similar to the Christian Bale Batmans and how they're presented. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
they're very grounded, realistic looks at those characters, and that's fun for like a sense of realism. But
yeah,
I feel like the new Spider-Man's kind of it's not as emotionally engaging. Like there
I
is a
don't
sense
feel.
of it being fun and light, and there are very serious moments, but it's not the entire tone of the movie. And I feel like that I like that. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. Like it's Spider Man. Let the nigga have fun and be funny and be jokey. Like it doesn't have to
Yeah.
be so so dark and MJ and Gwen and
I feel like
But
a large
that's
part of
exactly how I feel though about the series. Like I'm so used to not the whole like comedy like the newer ones have more I find more comedy in it than the older one like I grew up with.
Really?
Yeah.
oh for
I
sure.
mean,
That's just the movie though. Like if you ever watch the show, you would be like, this is a completely different nigga from the fucking movie.
that
So it's like,
that brings up a question. What was the best Spider-Man animated show?
The '90s one, I think.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's
That's it.
all.
Well, yeah.
the
The
one with
one I
the
watched
red,
growing
blue,
up.
the
I
one
saw
with the
that one
red,
in
blue, and black
spectacular.
Venom.
You like
That's about
Unlimited,
it.
Sensei?
The one with the red, blue, and black Venom. The one from the 90s.
Yeah, like good
You
old
Oh,
you
'90s.
just
Yeah, I know
you just
what
try
one
to
you're talking
remind me
about.
of that time, aren't you? Since like
he
Yeah,
was
dead
red. That
ass.
was
He
he
was
was
like
like
I
all
don't
the
think Delvin was born in the 2000s.
What the
Friendly
fuck?
Yeah, but
neighborhood.
yeah,
How
but
is you been
yeah,
going
but
like 10
no,
niggas?
Hans, I actually still there were reruns of it going on like
Yeah, yeah,
on like
yeah, I
four
know,
kids
I know.
and stuff. So I actually binge watched the whole series when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
I just
But even then, like it's amazing. It's probably my second favorite. But for me, even though it was short lived, Spectacular Spider-Man was probably my favorite out
Was
of all of
sweet.
them.
Yeah, it was
I
sweet.
If
like
it had
it.
another season, I'd be the best at it. But
Yeah, it
since
was
it was
sweet.
only, I like the 90s.
They
Spectacular
I
talked
mean,
about
but
it.
yeah,
Spider-Man is the
no,
one
but
on
I
CW,
feel like
right?
Sensei made a good point though. Like to say like the animated show from like the first set of Spider-Man movies vastly different. But we never, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't talk about that because even in the animated series, even when there was some real shit going down, Spider-Man was still cracking jokes the whole time. He was talking shit the whole time.
I don't remember that.
Not every. Well, there were definitely some scenarios where he had to get dead serious. But yeah, I get your point.
I
You know
agree,
what I
but like the
mean?
new movies, they lack
Yeah.
the turmoil that makes Spider-Man such a great character. Like it's just like fun all the time.
Yeah, no, but I
Like,
think they're
Like,
building up to that. This is Marvel at the end of the day.
hold
They
on.
do have a recipe that they always follow. They're not breaking that.
Well, and how does Deadpool work in the comics then? Because isn't he like continuous jokes and parodies the
Oh,
entire
he
time?
is. He's
No,
He
continuous.
does
no,
he does have
Hey,
serious moments.
hey,
He has
Chris,
serious
that's
moments.
probably
both
the
of them.
most closely followed comic book movie made.
Really?
Wait, hold up. Listen, man. Listen,
They're like
right?
keep it like to the real to the comics. Other than Blade, those they do a really good job of keeping that actually like the comics. It is like that. He cracks jokes constantly.
Yeah, that is facts, right? That is facts, but it's just like it depends on what running Deadpool you talking about, because it's a running Deadpool called the Sad Clown
I'm
running
talking about the
Deadpool.
original
Where,
Deadpool run, where he was when he was created and put out. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah, I know you're talking about when they first before they introduced the
Yeah, I'm not
fucking
talking about
third
anything
wall.
like
The
that.
four, yeah. No, I know, but the best running Deadpool, bro, is the Sad Clown run. Like, bro, this nigga Deadpool got a family. He got kids. Nigga, it's a reason why he got voices in his head. Like, bro, it's reasons behind all this shit. Like, he not always just a jokey joke dude. Like, Deadpool actually got a serious side, a compassionate side and shit. It ain't just
Actually,
jokes
for a
on jokes
while,
on
he
jokes all
didn't
the
say
time.
anything.
He is.
I mean, they have that in the movies too, though. Like the
Yeah,
movies
that's
show like
true.
the
Like,
serious.
if I'm not mistaken, I think the first or second one, like the first 3 comics, he doesn't even say anything.
No,
Really?
but I
Really?
think the
Oh.
point I was trying to
I
make.
think it's like a mystery, not a mystery, but like to try to figure out what the fuck this guy's all about because he looks all crazy.
Yeah,
They start
Uh,
yeah, because
the juxtaposition.
the point I was
yeah,
trying to make though,
and
like,
that,
was like I feel like with these new Spider-Mans, they restarted him and put him so young so that they
Yeah.
could build up to the sort of real emotional moments that we like, you know what I mean? Like they're trying to build out Mary Jane
Most.
and his relationship. They're trying to do all of these things. So when he
It's a
is the
mandate.
experienced Peter Parker that meets, that's working at the Daily Bugle and yada yada yada, we've grown with that character. So when those emotional, you know what I'm saying? Like they're doing it, they're playing the long game and the short.
I don't think there was ever an iteration of adult Spider-Man.
No, listen. Yeah, no.
I'm,
Spider-Man only
are you
aged
talking
up
about
to
in the
like
comic? Because he's
24.
like 25
That's
right
I
now.
know that.
Spider-Man-
Now that we're talking, I just realized that. That's crazy.
I mean, weren't the
Spider-Man-
movies technically that? Because he was.
No, I mean like when I was saying Grim,
I mean,
like
he
it's-
was
you know how,
he was in college.
you know how like there's
And what Mosh?
And
Who's
the
the
original
superhero that
ones,
was young
he
and
was
grew up?
at the
Oh,
high
he
school
was
and
in
the
high
college.
school.
College. He got the farthest Spider-Man has gotten to college.
Was college,
24 or
yeah.
25. That's the farthest in age he's technically gotten in like main continuity.
Yeah, but the first one
Yeah.
But
started. He
listen,
was
yo,
like
let me,
senior, right?
Yeah, he
what?
was like
And I definitely remember the school
what,
bus.
like a junior in high school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
either junior or
Yep.
senior because I definitely remember a school bus and like a
We see him graduate and go to college. Like is my
yeah,
yeah.
whole point.
we see.
I guess you know how you saw. You know how
you
if you know Magneto's whole story, you saw him as a kid, and then he became
Yeah.
adult Magneto. Like there's none of that. There's no.
I mean,
Spider-Man
I'm just super excited for them to restart this whole X-Men shit. Like, just
Hold on,
clean
listen.
it up. Please.
Wait, let me say
Like
this though.
Yeah, I
The
need to
reason
be
why
clean.
Spidey, the reason why Spidey don't like the new Spider-Man shit though is because it's all like the whole Marvel universe is based
garbage.
off of.
That is
Like,
true.
the whole Marvel
That's my
universe is
garbage.
based off of the Ultimate Universe. So it's like this is not like the main Marvel
Spider-Man
universe.
like Spider-Man cracked
Oh my
jokes,
God,
yeah, but
Chaddy.
not that much, dude.
Chatty.
It's stupid. I didn't even
Chill,
watch
like,
the
you
next
don't.
one.
I mean,
Not
I
even that
think
movie.
it's
I didn't
You
interrupt
didn't
you
even
to
get
say
the
sorry.
point.
I just don't.
again. I just think it's vastly different from the very dark, realistic tone of Spider-Man. Like that.
But
Like, I think it's overly comedic. Sure, you can make that point, but and the other token, the former movies
Sensei's got to finish his point, but it's not as dark
too
as you're thinking.
serious. I apologize, Sensei. Go ahead.
You're thinking it's way darker than it actually is. It's not that dark.
I'm talking about the
bro,
first
listen,
two. I'm talking about the
the
Tom, not the Tom.
Marvel universe right now is based off of the Ultimate Universe. Spider-Man in the Ultimate Universe starts off as like you get him as a kid, like right in high school. He quirky. He
He's
not
a
the same
jokester.
Spider-Man.
He's really a
He's
joke.
not,
He's a
Can
jokester.
you let Sensei finish, Hater?
yeah, he not that dude. Like this is not the Spider-Man from like the main Marvel universe or like the Iron Man. None of these niggas is these niggas. Like they way cool. Like these niggas is the Ultimate Universe, more realistic, like toned down version of these characters and shit. Like more.
Oh yeah,
set in,
don't
like,
the
real-
Ultimate got them cock diesel ass like Thor look cock diesel as fuck.
That's why Thor look like this
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
That's why we
That's
got black. That's why we got Black Nick Fury, the Ultimate Universe. Like nigga,
Black.
like, this is not the
Time
regular
out.
shit.
Hold up, bro. This
Yeah,
nigga
Nick
used to be
Fury's
white.
white.
What?
In the actual main comic universe, Nick Fury is white.
He's white.
I mean,
yeah.
wait a
Since
minute, wait a minute, Sensei,
Since
you know about
always.
how they retcon Black Nick Fury into the main universe now, right?
That's like his son,
Yeah.
right? The white guy, like
Yeah, it's
adopted
his
the
son,
black dude.
Nick Fury Jr.
Yeah,
Oh
Who's
How
shit.
does that even? Never mind. That makes no sense.
but not Sensei. The Ultimate comic, like, were my joint. Ultimate Peter Parker, he was that nigga. But these new Spider-Man movies are based more off of the Miles Morales Ultimate. Even like Ned, like he's like
No.
Miles'
No,
friend.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's
Yeah. Let me finish. I was not done speaking. I was not done
finish.
speaking. I was not done speaking. You can say no, but literally, if you read the Miles comics, Ned Leeds is almost like a carbon copy of Miles' best friend Genki. They just changed his name. Like
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
literally, it's more based off of that, but which is fine. Again, it's different, but I don't have to like it because I like Spider-Man being strong, independent, and not having Tony Stark's dick in his mouth. That's what I don't like about the movie.
Okay, Spidey, to be fair.
Yeah, that was never a part of the comics ever.
You realize?
Yeah, it was. In
Not where
during
he
Civil
sucked
War.
his dick. No.
Secret War.
Not
Secret
literally,
War.
Chatty. What the? Now listen.
Well, I mean, he didn't even kiss up to him like that.
Yes, he
He-
did.
No, he
Tony
didn't.
Stark was
No,
literally his
no, he
father
did not.
figure in the main continuity.
Like, when
They
did
were
show
only on
you
the
that it
same
was
side. They were
When did
never.
Spider-Man ever
Yeah, it
kiss
was
up
never
to
like
Iron
that.
Man? When did that ever happen?
Yeah,
right during
it's Spidey.
Civil War.
You
That
remember
was
that at
Civil
all?
War.
They're
I
telling
don't
you.
remember. I remember Spider-Man being a loner who did his own shit, and everyone respected him for that.
Civil War.
If you read Civil
Secret
War,
Wars.
like literally, like the reason why like Tony Stark went off the deep end is because like him and Spider, like, him and Peter got close. Like that's why he went off deep end. Like when he died
In the
That
comics
happened.
too?
Yes, in the
Yeah,
comics.
that's what happened. That's literally
Yes,
what reason that Iron Man went off the deep end. Spider-Man
like
died.
that Spider-Man
Okay, see,
dies.
I thought that the stuff that's going in the Marvel Universe movies.
Are you guys talking
Hey, hold on.
In the real Civil
Hey,
War.
hold on.
Are you guys talking about these new comics?
Yo, hold
In
on.
Civil
No.
War.
No, we're not talking about the new
No.
comics,
The
Chatty.
old one.
And look,
The old one.
that-
Talk
that's
about
not
Civil
what
War.
we
I don't know what the hell.
Spider-Man died.
Hey,
Everybody stop yelling. Everybody stop yelling.
Yeah,
A
we're
lot
on
of the
a,
time, Sensei's talking about the newer comics. That's why I asked.
we're on a stream right now, guys. Yeah, one at a time, please.
No,
All
Chatty.
So we're talking about Civil War, right?
right, yeah.
The original.
Yes,
The original Civil War.
All right, hold on a second. I thought that the stuff that's going on in the movies right now was just like Sony and Disney did that to get those characters to work together to get more money. I didn't think that was in the actual comics. So that's continuity.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's continuity. Yeah,
That's
It's a
continuity.
whole- that's a whole-
But it's not exactly the same. It's changed.
It's not
Yeah.
exactly the
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's watered down really,
That's why we kept
Yeah,
telling
it's
you
watered
the
down.
movie was gonna end with him snapping, and you tried to tell us we were wrong.
Yeah, like everybody kind of knows the deal, and then there's a lot of people who come in and they're like, "That can't be it," and we're like, "Just
Marvel finally
Hey,
acquired the X-Men.
Valid,
They're
let's
gonna try to work
go,
them in
let's
after
go.
this
Oh, what's
phase.
happening, man?
The next phase after this one, they're gonna try to work in the X-Men and other people.
Yeah.
They can't do it right now because they have some. They're already.
Oh God, I just want him to reboot the fucking X-Men so
Man,
bad.
man,
Like,
man,
he-
man,
like,
They need to reboot them.
I gotta wait
This
7
is
years
a
for
perfect
this.
way.
Wait, like, listen,
7 years will come out quick, man.
I'm
Like,
saying
there's a lot of
7 years? No, we don't. That shit's done already, man. The
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
hold on.
Done
You
yet.
explain what you where you get this information.
No. They already
Listen,
acquired
There's
the
two
credit.
different.
They
wait,
already
wait.
started
I think
producing
it's
it
like
in movies.
Yo, guys, one at a time, please.
Fox and
Wait, one at a
or
time.
like the guy that owns the Disney company, and then the other company that owns two parts of it or whatever.
Listen, Disney bought Fox, right? The deal is not done. They
Yes, it
still
is.
have no, it's not.
Yes,
They
it
are.
is, nigga.
Hello?
But I've heard
I'm
nothing.
gonna make a bet,
Hold on,
bro.
yeah, let Sensei finish this. Let's see the entirety of what he's saying first.
Yeah, but the deal is not all the way done yet.
Oh.
Feige will still tell you in namesake they cannot drop none of them characters that you're talking about. Like they can't name Wolverine
At
the
all.
next Wolverine.
All X-Men.
The Wolverine,
Everybody
the
was
X-Men,
bought.
the
Everybody was
X-Men
bought.
and Fantastic Four,
Deadpool,
anybody that's
all of them.
related to all of them people. All
Yeah,
them people in the
everybody that was
franchise.
brought over. They
Well,
can't name them. For like, I was like 3 years since it was like 3 years since you said like 3 years to get name
No,
anybody.
the deal is just not done yet, bro. Like niggas
Saying,
is
like, how long
thinking
is
that
it?
in the next Avengers. No, hold up. Niggas is thinking in the next Avengers movie you gonna get like a name drop or something.
No,
The
you're not.
deal's not
Nobody
done yet.
said that. Nobody
No,
said. I didn't say
I'm
that.
not talking about you, bro. What the fuck? Why are you niggas? Why are you everybody? Why are
I'm
you
a
everybody?
nigga.
Hold on. Let's talk about the other side though, because I'm on this guy's side too.
Like,
Because
I'm telling you,
I've
the deal is
heard.
done. They can't put the people in the movies for another couple of years, but the deal itself is done.
No. Hold on. What I've heard is that the deal is supposed to be finishing this year. Like there were predictions that this summer the stuff could be completed and done. And then, hey, can somebody mute their background?
Hater.
Who's got background?
Okay, all right. So I saw that it's supposed to be ending this year, like predictions around summertime. We're supposed to get like more official news, and then I also heard that in some type of like comic issue for Disney, that they've already referenced the term mutant. Like they're saying mutant instead of like the other term that they were using before, because mutant is copyrighted by them as well. Inhumans, that's what it was. This is what they were using Inhumans, and now they started to use mutants. So like,
yeah, I mean, from what I know about the deal, like it was approved by the government already, so like most of the logistics is done. I'm sure there's still more shit that they have to iron out with the characters, but for the most part, the deal is done. You know what I'm saying? It's just
it's not
finalized. Yeah, they ain't crossed all the T's and dot all the I's.
The nigga Kevin Feige in charge of Marvel said they'll be able to use the characters. They'll be able to use them within the next 6 months, and that was
Let
from.
me explain something to y'all the way business works. The deal is on the table, and both of them agree to it. But they're trying, like y'all said, they're working out certain things. But if they don't like what, they could pull it. They could pull it from off the table.
Yeah,
the deal is not done.
It's not done yet. They haven't
because the deal can get snatched off the table.
Yeah.
Nothing is done until the ink is dry, baby. That's how
well,
it works.
it's at least a lot more secure, because y'all remember in the beginning they were talking about.
Yeah, I mean the merge is approved and all that.
Was it Comcast that it was talking about buying it out outright with just cash?
$20 billion short of the shit that they
okay.
offer. So the
That's
deal
what it
is
was.
secured by Disney, right? But in namesake, right, until they officially sign that shit, Kevin Feige or nobody from Disney can say, "Oh, we got Wolverine."
They can't. They don't have the rights to put them in the movies yet.
Not even in the movies. They can't even say they got Wolverine.
They're just licensed to the character in any way. Yeah.
Is it just Wolverine?
No. Just all of the
All the X-Men. So you say all the X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, all of them. All of they can't name them.
And they have to wait for Dark Phoenix to roll out pretty much too.
Yeah,
once Dark Phoenix was
like
rolled
like
out.
you said, they're only just starting to use the word mutant again instead of inhuman. Like that's going to be a slow like build into being like full on. But
the fact that they've done that like is a good sign. You know what I'm saying? Like shit is going in the right direction. Like it's pretty. You know what I mean? Like if they can restart the Fantastic Four and the X-Men series, that'll do wonders for the pockets.
I feel like the Fantastic Four is more of a stable than it is like popularity. Like, but even though like they are stable,
there's just demand for
I
it.
swear they're trash, bro.
That is,
I'm
it's just
sorry.
The reason why there's demand for the Fantastic Four is because of Doctor Doom. He's a main staple.
Yeah, he's
that fights against the Avengers.
and if like the fact that they got this deal done, like they're doing a Secret Wars. Like there's no question about it.
Well,
the reason they need the Fantastic Four is because the Fantastic Four bleed into nearly every facet of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
They
Like,
do.
There's such a
people also like
linchpin
their
in
dynamics.
everything.
Yo, but individual Fantastic Four only got like one good comic book run, and like other than that,
All
bro,
right,
they not a good
they'll
comic
figure
book.
it out. They'll
But
figure
hold
it
up,
out.
listen, they not a good series, bro. Like
It ain't.
What you mean? Hold up, bro. I've heard from the only thing I've heard from niggas that know about comics is that Fantastic Four is shit that like almost started it all, bro. Like it almost started it all.
They're original. They
Grim, the keyword is started.
They
They
started. Like,
started a
like,
lot of
Family
shit.
they're
Marvel.
original.
Hold
Like
up,
they're
they
original.
started
They're
all
original.
the
Family Marvel.
cosmic shit, right?
Damn,
Hold
one
up,
at a
they
time, nigga.
started all the hold up, they started all the cosmic shit, right, Grim? But over the years, bro, their comic book sales
All right, but
slumped
that's not to say that they
did
don't have
not
any good
sell,
runs.
bro. It's only
That doesn't
one.
mean they don't
Yo,
have
it's
any
only like
good.
3
They
good
had good runs.
runs.
They only
They
need
had
a
good
couple
runs.
good runs. If they're
They had
building the
different.
Secret Wars,
That's
let
the
them build the
No,
Secret
not
Wars
for
and
the
get it out of the
But
way.
let me say this.
bro. You can't do that,
Let me
bro.
say
Not
this.
for the good runs that they do got. You got to run after. You got 2 of the runs being after Secret Wars, which is nigga Jonathan Hickman, which leads into Secret Wars 2015 when all the shit happened again, nigga. And then nigga, you got Secret Wars, and you got another, and you got the shit with the what's the Living Tribunal. Other than that, them is them
And the
them is 3 good
Illuminati.
runs you can
Actually,
say.
the
Hey man,
Illuminati,
That's
if
a
you think
that's a
you
about
just
it,
that's a
saying
That's more
words.
of an Avengers.
Guy.
That's
Let
an
me
All I'm
let
Avengers
me
saying,
type
hold
tell
on,
thing,
you.
not
you.
just.
Let
All
me
I'm
tell you
saying.
the
Jonathan
real
Hickman, nigga.
perspective.
What the
The
fuck?
real
Oh, what's up,
perspective
big news?
is the villain is mediocre. All 4 of them by themselves trash, and Reed
What the
Richards
hell?
is the
Hold on, wait.
only.
Yo, let him finish. Hold on, bro. Let him
You're
finish.
not.
Let
You
me
ain't finna talk
finish.
about
Guys,
Get
Villain
let
out of
Big
Richard.
here.
News finish.
Let
He
me
wasn't done
finish.
talking.
The
No,
thing is
you can't.
trash. Human
Listen,
Torch
don't say
starts out
nothing wrong.
cool, huh? The
You,
Human
you
Torch
already you already started off wrong. You said Doctor Doom is mediocre, and that's a
mediocre
lie.
at best compared to Marvel. He's mediocre.
That's a lie.
You saying
Doctor Doom
more,
is a
boo?
god, bro. Doctor Doom is a god, bro.
yeah,
Doctor
Doctor
Doom
Doom
is
is also,
Magneto,
bro,
or
like,
Doctor Doom.
All right, hold on. Let Big
Doctor
News
Doom.
explain
Stop
why he's
playing with me.
mediocre,
Doctor
bro.
Doom.
Doom is stronger than him. Doom is literally stronger than Magneto. That's an entire fact. Doom is
As
way
a
stronger.
villain, who is better?
No, he's talking about
Doom,
character hit, not power.
I
Doom is
I
like
way
like
stronger.
Magneto
Doom.
better.
Like, bro,
Who's
like
more?
that's
Who's a
how.
more entertaining
That's
villain?
how I know
Exactly.
you don't read the comics, bro. Doom.
Saying
Stop playing
Doom
with
is
me.
better.
It's
Doom is
Doom,
better.
bro. You feel
The
me? You just
only
going
thing
off of
that
what you
Doom
saw from the
has,
movies, guy.
the
I
only
like
thing that
Doom.
Doom has is that one time they went over every scenario and to say he would be the perfect leader for the world. That's the only thing he has.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that too.
No. Fuck that. I'm
That's the
sorry.
only thing.
I heard about some shit where he became a god
It's one
and
of
he
the
was involved with
most
Reed Richards or something like that.
prolific villains in the Marvel canon. He has gone from being a, we'll say, city level threat to being a global threat to being an astral threat to being a cosmic threat. He has constantly and consistently grown and shown and outshone every person who's come across him to the point that, yes, he has become a god in more than a few realities. Like, don't sleep on Doctor Doom.
He's
Devastating.
strong, but like Magneto's still a better character.
Well,
per se.
hold on.
Facts,
Listen.
facts. I'll give
Why
you
the
that.
fuck did Big News? Listen to this. The Reed Richards from across the multiverse hated this nigga so bad that they capture all of their Doctor Dooms and slowly start siphoning away their brain power because they just hated them niggas. Like, yo, we can't leave
What
this
the
nigga to do
fuck?
his own devices because he always
Yeah,
on
Doom was that
trying to
like Doom was
conquer
that
the
that
world,
annoying.
nigga.
Like
Doom
Doom was
was
that
literally
annoying.
that dude, nigga.
Yeah,
To be
he
fair,
was.
Doom
Like
hates
one of the
Reed
most
just
recent
as
ones.
much as
This
Reed hates
nigga Doom
Doom.
became Iron Man in one of the most recent runs. This nigga was
Oh
Iron
my
Man for a
god.
minute.
All right, but like to hold on to what Big News said, like I've only been exposed to the movie version, and in the movie version, the Fantastic Four are trash in any aspect. They're not interesting.
Listen, that's a fact. Listen, that's a real
Because
Garbage.
Marvel
They're
hasn't
very
made them.
boring. They're
All
very
I'm
boring.
saying is, my point is that you
Dr.
can't.
Doom's not boring, but they're
I don't know like the comic version of Fantastic Four. I don't know none of that shit. But I'm not gonna sit there and act like there isn't some way that Marvel can't finagle some shit
fuck.
on the screen, make 2 movies, lead them into Secret Wars, and we are all having a good time. They can do that.
So not right now. So your best bet is get cameos and get some.
I mean, whatever
All
they
3.
gotta do, nigga. But
No,
I'm
they're
just
not
saying they
doing
gonna do
no.
it.
They're
That's
not
just
doing X-Men or Fantastic Four anytime soon.
no.
They
I'm
still have
saying
Phase 4 to do.
so like so you can see
They're
But you
not
don't.
doing it
You
anytime
telling
soon.
me with them getting these characters, they're not gonna work their way to Secret
Bro,
Wars?
no.
listen, they already
Listen,
have the
they
movie
will.
set up for Phase
They
4.
probably
They started
will.
production on some
I'm
of them
saying like
now.
so. I'm
Don't
saying so
forget,
like
there's still 2 completed movies that they have to they have
I'm
to
saying,
release in
so
the New Mutants.
we still
Wait,
get Black Panther still. We still gotta get Doctor Strange
Oh
still.
yeah,
So,
no, I know
like
they got they
Doctor
plans.
Strange.
Phase 4 is
Oh, Doctor
locked, right?
Strange.
Phase
Yo,
4 is
and
locked.
the X-Men. Don't forget the
Yeah,
movies that are already made.
Strange.
We're not
No,
getting
scrap.
Black Panther 2 in Phase 4, are we?
No, that's scrap.
Yeah, I think so.
Scrap.
Nah,
Yeah.
nigga.
That's scrap.
I just recently heard that they confirmed work for Doctor Strange 2.
Phase 5 up in
Doctor Strange 2 is supposed to come out soon anyway.
hold up.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
in Phase 4 too.
yo, but
And
I
that
really
movie is
wish they
supposed to be called Illuminati. So
yeah, but
Yeah.
that New Mutants movie not coming out in the theaters.
Trash.
That might be a home release, nigga, because of the way this shit is planning out. They releasing Dark Phoenix, but the New Mutants movie, it was reshoots. There was a lot of shit that was wrong with that shit, and nigga, they dropped the director halfway through. Nigga, they might home release that in like years.
dude, X-Men, they've been dropping bullshit movies since God
Yeah.
knows when. Like,
So,
that
okay,
shit
First
is
class.
trash.
And
First
honestly,
class was
fire,
amazing.
poor
though.
execution more
What?
than it is
First class was
bad
amazing.
source
Age of Future
material.
Past was fire. That's my favorite movie out of the
I
X-Men.
mean, that's
Yeah,
probably
same.
the only good one.
I mean,
That
X-Men
shit
is
is
pretty
trash.
fucking hard to fuck up.
The coolest thing about that whole movie was
But
the
they
Sentinels.
fucked up X-Men a
Yes,
bunch of
sir.
times though.
Like, it's not that hard to mess
That's what
up
I'm saying.
X-Men. It's
It's pretty
really
hard to
not,
fuck
but
that
they still
story up.
do
And
it.
fucked it up, my god.
They fucking botched that
That's why
whole
Fox don't even
like,
make no
bro,
superhero movies ever
Apocalypse
again.
Apocalypse was
fucking
trash.
garbage.
Yeah, trash.
That was trash. That was trash.
How did
You
they
know
beat him?
how strong this dude is, bro?
My biggest hope is that,
How did they beat him in
and
the
I could
movie?
be hated for this, I want them to do an actual Age of Apocalypse thing where they actually, like, the end of the series of movies, they go back to the fucking real, like, reality and shit. Like, that would, because Age of Apocalypse is one of
That's
the
what
best,
people think
is
is
one of
gonna
the best
happen
old
after
school fucking things that everybody loves.
That's what people think is gonna happen after Endgame. That's how they're gonna write them in the continuity. They're gonna do it after Endgame. Like,
I'm
after
telling
they're
you,
gonna
as you know,
reset everything and do all of that
And
shit.
yeah, just to have the surgence of like mutants and all
Yeah,
that.
they're not
New
gonna be in the
mutants.
movies, but they might name drop somebody. They might put a little cameo here and there, but they're not
I
gonna.
thought they said it might be something to do with like the with the quantum realm and shit like that.
Quantum realm, yeah.
Actually, listen. I'll tell you. Listen, don't be surprised if Deadpool is the reason why, like, X-Men, all of them come into the Marvel universe. Don't be surprised you use Deadpool as a mechanism.
They're
Because
making an X-Force movie.
They put him in everything because he sells. Like, you can throw that dude's face on toilet paper and people will reuse it and be like, "Look at my Deadpool toilet paper."
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? That Deadpool got all the.
Thank God
all
that
the-
Ryan Reynolds guy actually read his comics.
He got cable. He got cable and all like
Yeah, he redeemed
all
himself from
types
that
of stuff,
Green
right? With
Lantern
cable
movie.
and
He
stuff with
redeemed
Deadpool too.
himself from that.
What I'm saying is like,
It's not even redeemed, bro. He was just desperate for a fucking hero movie. Like, he jumped on the Green Lantern thinking he would be able to do what he wanted to do, and they ain't let him do.
Hey,
anything
Waller
that he wanted to
might
do.
be right. He may not have
But
read
he
shit.
didn't have the clout then. He got the clout now. Wallow. He didn't have clout then. He got it now though. He got the pull now.
Yeah, he not no Spider-Man. He not no Wolverine, but he up there.
Yeah, nah, but he's not Van Wilder anymore either, man. Like,
That's
for
what
real.
I'm saying. Like,
That dude was Van Wilder when the Green Lantern came out, and that's pretty much all he was.
But you
all his
could,
movies were the same.
you could tell that, like, even with this, like, I don't know if it's just because Deadpool is popular, but he's been milking the fuck out of that shit, bro. Like, the amount of advertisement publicity that Deadpool has gotten as a movie in the past, like, 4 to 5 years.
Apparently, I
just
guess
two
the guy
movies?
jokes like that already.
Yeah, he
and then
does.
he-
That's what I'm
now he
saying.
just
Like,
mimics the fucking character.
Yeah, no, he's naturally that.
I guess that's how he jokes in real life.
Yeah, that's how he is. Kind of like those people say, like, it's how he kind of is. Like, he's
Grim.
like Deadpool in real life, low key.
Like, if you've ever seen the Family Guy, like, cameos he's been on, like, he jokes the exact same way. Like,
y'all remember X-Men Origins Wolverine?
Yeah.
When we got that bullshit Deadpool that had all them powers and shit.
With Gambit in them.
Wait, what powers? He does have powers, but what powers does he give him?
Nah, when he got like laser beams and shit. They
Oh my
stole
God.
other powers from other people.
Yeah,
and shit,
he
right?
stole Cyclops.
Yeah, he
powers.
basically had Cyclops. He had
Yeah,
Cyclops. He had Cyclops' heat vision. He had Nightcrawler's teleportation.
But listen though, right? He was in the beginning of the movie before they change him into that shit. You see, he's the dude that's gonna play like Deadpool and shit, right? He Wade Wilson or whatever.
Oh yeah,
right?
that was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
That
listen,
was
right?
him.
Nigga,
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he refuses. Like, this documented. When they said like, "Yo, we about to do this shit to the character," because he didn't know. He's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that shit, nigga." For the rest of the movie, he was a stunt double. After the one scene you actually see him in, like, that's how big of a Deadpool fan he is. Cause like nigga, like they was fucking over the character. Like besides the Wade Wilson reference, that's the only time you think that that's Deadpool. They don't call him Deadpool when he doing all that shit, fighting Wolverine and shit with no mouth and all that shit, teleporting over the battlefield.
They
Like, that
call
shit
him
was
Weapon
trash.
X or something.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
call
that's
him
what they called him. Yeah.
Yeah, like nigga.
That sounds
like,
homosexual as fuck.
They fucked that shit all up, bro. Like the nigga, he a big ass
Oh,
Deadpool fan.
that
So like,
that's
I
another
can see
thing.
him joking like that in real life.
That's another thing, bro. Like with X-Men, like how the hell do you have a character like Wolverine, and then you don't bring in his number one nemesis, bro, Omega Red?
I still don't even know who the fuck that is.
Number one nemesis. That's the number one nemesis that fucked him up. You're right, but they didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
Same
Like,
with
how do you
Cyber
not
though.
bring in this
They
guy?
should have brought Cyber in
That's
there. Either.
That's like asking why they never had Magneto rip the adamantium out of him, like
No,
in an
it's more
actual
like asking
movie.
why did they have
He's
Cyber in
he
there?
has done that in the
Cyber
comics
is the
before.
same shit that.
Nah, but
that
Omega
Omega
Red, bro,
for the
like
screen.
that dude.
Way comics, you know, Omega Red fucking. There's a comic book line where he fucking kills Wolverine, basically, and then there's the same thing with the Cyber. Cyber breaks his fucking claw.
Yeah. Cyber was that
Saber
dude.
Tooth
That
does the same
Let
thing.
me ask y'all a question. Who y'all think
No,
gonna be the new
Sabretooth
Captain America?
always had a psychological
When,
edge on Wolverine.
Who did you
Like,
say?
What was
you
that question, bro?
the dude who's Captain America, I forgot his name. Him and
Sorry,
Robert Downey Jr. This after this their
Yeah,
last
this
movie.
it's their last movie. Yeah.
It's Chris. I forget what Chris it is. It's Chris.
Chris
It's
Evans.
not-
Chris
Chris
Evans.
Yeah, that's his name.
I
But
don't see who are you talking to.
Not his
Hold up, bro. Repeat your question, bro.
okay, so after this movie, I think that's his name, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. They're done. Like
They're
that's
done,
the
yes.
main
Yeah, their
Yes,
contracts are done. Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah,
They're
who do you
done.
want? Who do you want, or who do you think is going to play the new Iron Man and Captain America?
Iron Man's
Okay,
not
so
gonna
this
be
is the
around.
thing.
I'm not gonna
Iron
be
Man-
around.
He already halfway
I hope it's
confirmed that
not
Tony
Iron
Stark isn't leaving. Like he's not leaving.
Yeah,
that,
no, he's gonna be in but he's not gonna have his own solo movie. Like it's just gonna be
Yeah.
a cameo.
The exact same thing that Hulk has for a while now. He's never had a movie, but they've played his role throughout different movies.
Yeah,
Something like that. I'm not confirming that. I just been told that he's not leaving.
Done. I thought he said he
I
was
know this
done with
nigga
it.
Tony. Y'all know this nigga Robert Downey.
Nah, he changed his
suited
character,
up.
his contract.
Yeah, he
Okay,
changed his
okay.
contract. He ain't suited up in a movie since Iron Man 2, nigga.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
ain't had
Mhm.
put on that since Iron Man 2.
listen. He'll need to listen. Listen. Listen.
Chilling.
Listen. You realize like Robert did be the highest paid actor for the last like besides I'm sorry, besides like the last 2 years because of The Rock, he's been the highest paid actor for the last like 6-7 years. Really, because of Marvel.
Yeah, and like it's because people know him as Robert Downey Jr. in those movies. It's not even Tony Stark.
You know what the funny thing is? I always heard that, or I believe that the perspective was that the actors didn't like to do superhero movies because they were like limiting roles, or you didn't really get to show your skills and shit like that.
Yeah, he changed.
Yeah, but niggas, that's where niggas are making the most money from right now. So like, is that just because of this time period, or has that always been that way?
Just that superhero movies have like
This
just
time
been
period.
elevated.
Nah,
Yeah, just been elevated
it's
to
a
a point.
lifestyle.
Yo,
It's a
I remember when
lifestyle thing,
superhero movies were like F-list bullshit movies with tin cans on heads at best.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Marvel has
Yeah.
come such a long
And-
way.
and they
they'll never
market-
talk about that shit, but
They cornered the market in such an ingenious way. Like they're going to be a staple for a very long time. Like they cornered the market like they cornered like the comic book market. Like they set up a whole universe that you need to see once to understand the continuity and build upon itself. Like that's ingenious as a business plan.
But how like
I mean, Most keep in mind that it's definitely ingenious as a business plan as movies, but in comics, I know a lot of people who hate tie-ins.
I mean,
yeah,
it is what it is, but
That's a bigger girth, like So
which from what I've heard is because niggas like they the reason why some other universes don't work is because they try and do those cameos too much, so they take away from the main story. They don't actually tell real stories. It's just about dropping name drops and shit like that. But Marvel, this is just what I'm heard. I've seen other movies, but like I don't try and like analyze them too crazy. I've heard that Marvel's biggest like strong point is that their movies are all individual movies that can hold on their own, but they're connected in a certain way. Yeah. So my question is, why is it that no other franchise or no other series of things can do that? That's technically what a sequel is. A sequel to
I think it's a formula.
It's a formula.
What did you ask, Grim?
There's a formula.
Honestly,
No,
I think
it's not even that. Just the formula.
Grim,
bro.
what did you
It's
ask?
the fact that these.
My bad.
Go ahead, Grim. Say it again so Chetty can hear you.
But I'm asking, like, why is it that no other group has had success in making like a series of movies? Because a series of
They
movies,
did the Batman movies.
outside
Okay.
of that, outside of
Yeah,
that,
outside.
'cause
Yeah, go ahead.
That's the fault of DC
The,
and Batman
the Superman movies of the 80s were
Well, I
super
mean, that's kind
successful.
of, but that has to do with what you're.
The
I
first
mean, the 80s.
Spider-Man.
Hold on, wait.
Let's talk about my
Hey, hold on. Yo, hold on, guys.
Umbrella.
Yo, hold on. Can Wallow go real fast? Let Wallow and then
No,
somebody else go.
yeah, y'all not getting what he's saying because you can say the Batman movie, but that's just one trilogy of just Batman.
What I'm
bro.
saying
Like,
is
he's
that's a
talking
DC
about
character though, and
no,
yeah,
but
you guys are talking about like
this is
the DC
what he's
characters and
what
shit, right?
Grim is
Bro, he's not.
asking. What
He
Grim is
he
asking.
hasn't like accompanied
Listen, what Grim is asking is he's like, why hasn't no one been able to build a
Connected
world
universe.
scale shit, like not just
Yeah.
Batman, Superman. He talking about like if you gonna bring DC,
a whole
he's like,
universe.
where's the Green Lantern?
Yeah.
Lantern, like where's
This
all
is
these
actually a
people
very
that
simple
they
answer.
intertwine?
Because they keep trying to mimic the success of those Dark Knight and those Batman movies.
Thank you, Chatty. Thank you.
But
That's why they're
listen,
failing
but
because
no,
each
this is
time
what I was gonna say about
they
that.
keep
It's
flip
not that they're
flopping back and
mimicking.
forth from that to like trying to
let
copy
me go
Marvel
after
or
you,
Marvel guys and shit.
Wallow.
But it's not that they're
One of the
mimicking, bro. It's that they don't want. Their problem is they're trying to go toe to toe with Marvel
They're trying to
instead
be
of
something that they're
building their
not.
shit, bro. Like
Yeah,
they want
Yeah.
to try to make movies to try to compete with Marvel instead of
which they
just
can't do.
making movies to build up their whole cinematic universe. That's their
even
problem on DC side.
And
even
before
Batman and
They're making
All
every
right, let
movie
me say
as
this.
in a dark tone like Batman
Yeah.
is, and it's not. They're not
Let me
supposed to be that way.
let me say this. The dude's Scott is Zack Snyder, right? The dude that produced the
Yeah, Zack
fucking
Snyder is the movie guy. Scott Snyder's the comic guy.
he modeled his whole shit off of like because he started his whole universe modeling this fucking Man of Steel off of the fucking what's the name, like the whole DCU, what's the name, that shit was supposed to be a dark gritty shit that led all the way up until fucking Darkseid taking over planet Earth and them niggas coming back from fucking what's the name, wherever I forget, what's the shit that he lived at, Apocalypse. They got trapped
Yeah.
on Apocalypse. Darkseid came to the fucking planet Earth, took that shit over. You see the scene in I think it's Batman versus Superman when Batman had that nightmare.
Yeah, the nightmare. Yeah.
I know. I'll go next.
That's the end
I'm going
of.
next. You can do it.
That's the
I
end of.
hear you, big news. My fault. I hear you, fam.
That's the
I hear you,
last.
big news. My fault.
Niggas, relax, bro.
Planet Earth. They're on planet Earth.
Yeah,
gathering
but
shit, so, like,
just to be
shit is
clear, yeah, that's what since they're saying
Yeah,
is what I
like
was saying. They fucking they tried too much to copy that shit.
fired his ass. They
It
fired
smell
him.
like bitch in here.
But
They
before
fired his
that,
ass. Hold on. They fired him. They hired some new niggas, right? But that nigga was still like credited on like Wonder Woman. That's why in the Wonder Woman shit, you still get half of that dark gritty shit and half of the new age shit that they trying to do. That glitz, glamour, big animation. I mean, big fucking color budget, all that shit. Like that's what Aquaman is. That's why Aquaman the best selling movie that DC got right now because that's the new direction they trying to go in. Like that's how all the DC movies gonna be from now on. That big fucking studio budget, glitz, glamour, visual masterpiece type of shit.
But not necessarily. They had to do it with that damn right because it was an underwater world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it had to be specifically to that. But it ain't gonna just be everything like flashy and colorful. But you gonna see it here and there in every movie though, for sure.
Well, bro, watch that Wonder
Yeah,
Woman
they doing it now with the
1984.
Shazam movie. With the Shazam movie,
That's it. But what the
that's
thing
how they
is though,
do it.
like, but the thing is though, like the things what Marvel does best and what DC does do until Aquaman was actually give you the character in a movie. It's like we got
Yeah.
Iron Man, we got Captain America, or Thor. We getting Thor. Like with Batman and Superman, I'm not getting them. I'm getting some other carbon copy of them, but I ain't getting Batman from like a Prince of comics. Or something. I ain't getting that. I like Wonder Woman. I got half of her in the movie, not the full Wonder Woman experience. That's what
I'm telling you.
And
That's the Zack
and
Snyder shit. That's literally what that is.
there's also a difference between the characters actually have like an actual like personality to them. Like the other characters, like Superman and everything like that, it was just like backstory after backstory. You didn't really get a feel for the nigga. Like he didn't have any personality to him like Tony Stark did when Marvel started it.
Yeah.
Like, Tony Stark had a personality, a voice.
doing it now.
Yeah.
Like I said, before this whole Aquaman thing came out, we had a whole talk about like Jason Jordan. What's his name? Jason Momoa.
Yeah,
Jason
Momoa.
How he's an actor.
Momoa, not mimosa.
Hey, mimosas are yummy.
They're delicious.
Hey,
Yes.
boy.
Continue.
But yeah, he's a face that you can recognize. That when you see him, you can be like, "That's Aquaman." And now that's the direction people are leaning towards instead of these no-name actors.
Big
But
facts,
the
bro.
next
Because
thing is
he has
Batman.
the
They had
swag.
they had Ben Affleck. They had Ben Affleck as Batman. He
Nah,
just wasn't.
Ben
Yeah,
The
but
Affleck
next
Ben
is
thing
Affleck
straight.
didn't
shouldn't be
have no
Batman.
personality.
They
Yeah, he
should
had no
build up
personality as Batman.
around
He had a
Batman
name. He has a name though. That's
because
the thing.
everybody knows Batman's a success. Everybody knows when a
Yeah,
Batman movie comes out, we're gonna go watch it, even if we're pretty sure it's gonna suck. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah,
still
but
gonna
we
go
ain't
watch
got
it
a
because it's
Batman
Batman.
now. We ain't got a
We
Batman no
don't,
more. No,
but we
Ben
don't have to
Affleck has
because
stepped
we
whenever
down.
don't have
Batman
one
comes
anymore.
out, we'll have one. That's Batman is
Mm-mm.
There,
ancillary. He's so
there have been
important
there have been
that it's
talks
gonna
about
happen anyway.
I don't think
yeah,
an
You know
but
what I
there
example
have
mean?
been
from
talks about who the next one's going to be. Some people actually said that Robert Patterson is like an option apparently.
Bro, I feel like
I've
for a
seen
decent
John Krasinski.
bro, listen,
I
for
think
a
I'm
Fuck
decent
Patterson,
no,
the guy from
universe,
bro.
Twilight.
That skinny
bro,
fuck.
for a DC universe, you need an established Batman and
You
you
could
need an
get
established
Jack.
Joker. You
Could have
need
took his ass
established
back to the
Joker,
office.
Batman, Lex Luthor, Superman.
Have you
Those
seen that
four
dude?
characters you
He is.
need.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Like they fucking off with that Joker shit, bro. Because that nigga ain't cutting it for no damn Joker.
Bro,
Bro.
no wait, Wallow, you know that's an
Yeah,
Elseworld.
Jared
That's
Leto.
Elseworld.
Yeah,
That's not the canon Joker. That's an Elseworlds Joker.
Either way,
Oh,
it's
you
not
seen
amazing.
the new nigga looks like he about to bring some shit, bro. Like he about to
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, bro. That nigga look. I'm ready for that shit, bro.
He's an amazing actor. He can do a really good job bringing a
off
lot
that
of
last one,
needed
bro.
depth and gravitas to the role.
On some real shit, I kind of felt like I still had that I forgot what the other guy's name. It did the original Joker for the Dark Knight series.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, no.
He's Ledger.
Legend. Yeah. I felt like I was still off the hype, and that's why it kind of tarnished this guy's performance. But regardless if that was a factor, if he was actually trash, and I believe he's actually trash, this new one is a step away from that. Like, I just seen the first trailer, bro. It had me like, this shit looks crazy as fuck. Like,
wait, what trailer? Hold up, what trailer?
Oh, I'm gonna drop the trailer.
Really? Drop that
dropped out last year.
Yeah, y'all know what's his name, Jared Leto. They axed his ass. He not the Joker no more for that other shit either.
Thank God, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't think he would have been a good Joker.
He wasn't a good Joker. There's no he would not have been. He might not have been. That dude was a shit Joker. Like he showed up for 15 minutes.
That was another thing. Like the Joker that he played in the movie, fucking Suicide Squad. That motherfucker barely had any opportunity to show any type of personality.
He was
you
trash.
can't say someone's going to be a good or
Just
bad
looking at
Joker
him,
if they don't
the
have an
right
opportunity
actor
to make a name.
No. The right actor would have taken that 5 minutes of on-screen time and fucking controlled the
you
fucking scene
cannot.
with that.
That's a little wild.
You
That's
can't.
a little
No,
wild.
not the
Come
movie
on.
controlled the scenes he was
with
in.
an hour and
Not-
a half movie and make your 5 minutes some
Okay,
crazy
hold on,
wonderful
wait.
appearance for what he was trying to do.
Oh wait,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, wait.
We were comparing his Joker to a 2-hour movie Joker.
Actually, wait, J Hood, Greg, I'm gonna give you a scenario. I'm gonna give you an example, an analogy. Granted, it's CGI. Do you think there'd be a better Hulk than Mark Ruffalo? Yes or no?
Nah.
I mean, honestly,
Okay,
bro. Honestly, I feel like
Okay.
I feel like anybody who got a serious Joker, like the last nigga who did the Incredible Hulk movie. Like, I'm not saying that movie was really good, but like I was okay with him being the Hulk. Like his demeanor, his face, his appearance, it made it seem like okay, this man's a fucked up guy. He's been through too much. But this new guy, he seems like. He seems like
Edward
fucking
Norton?
Norton seemed like a type of like no offense, he seems like a fucking drugged out nigga. So like I could see somebody who has the Hulk like being in a state of that much stress. I could see that, but Mark Ruffalo doesn't look like that, bro. The nigga looks cool, like he's cool, bro.
Mark Ruffalo, he reminds
Mark
me
does
of
Hulk
the
does.
well got together Banner, like the Banner that you got when he got like somewhat control of the Hulk. That's
Which
what
I
see
think
Mark
is
Ruffalo.
why they chose him, because that's the end result that they wanted for the Hulk throughout the course of all the movies. Like they want to get him to the point where it's not just like the biggest problem with the Hulk movies is technically the Hulk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like can't do shit about him. We all know he's gonna win. You know what I mean? So they tried to make the other parts interesting, and Edward Norton was great for that. But what they needed is somebody to blend those, like the Hulk and that. And Norton was really good as Banner, but his Hulk was lacking. And we all Ruffalo's Hulk is the shit. Like, let's be real.
How do you? You gotta explain that to me, bro. How explain that concept? They use CGI for both versions of the Hulk. The Hulk doesn't talk; he just rampages and shit. All we can really judge from the actor is their Banner. So like, please
No.
elaborate.
Actually, no. Actually, that's
I'm
true.
not saying that it's the actor's fault that the Hulk is better.
Yeah, Ruffalo's Hulk is actually
Yeah, it's just
great.
incidental. It
It's
just
actually
is
great.
written better.
Yeah.
It's done better.
Exactly.
There's
It's
better
done better.
graphics. There's years later and better technology. Like this is no fault to either actor. You know what I mean? This is a studio product, not an actor product.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see your point.
Y'all niggas really didn't like that Incredible Hulk movie.
I did. I loved it. Are you kidding me? With the fucking
I liked it.
abomination that fight at the end. It was
Yo,
dope.
that's
that
the
was great.
weirdest fucking trailer I've ever seen, man.
Where did you drop this shit, Grim?
For the people.
Yeah, it's for the people, bro.
Okay.
Yo, that shit is like.
But
go ahead.
But I think for complete Hulk, Ruffalo's going to be the better actor for that, and that's just a hope. That's just a hope. You know what I mean? But because there's a difference between the banners in the sense of like the way the Hulk interacts with the banners. Like when the Banner and Hulk have like no kinship or no friendship, it's a very adversarial fucking relationship. But when they're on the same page, they can be just one dude. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't happen often, but it has happened. And I think that's what the overall thing is pushing for.
I've heard that rumor. I think that's what I'm hoping. That'd be cool to see.
Bruh,
I think Mark Ruffalo will do a good job. I think he's done a decent job so far.
Yeah.
Is that how his continuity goes in the comics as well? He pacifies over time.
Once he gets at this point where the Hulk is fighting him now, that's the end result. Yeah, is that they become one. They get over their differences and then they become Super Hulk or whatever the fuck the name was. I forget. But I think they just call it
it's
Smart
like
Hulk.
it's like
shit.
it's Bruce's brain, Hulk's body, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's what they're going towards.
Okay, because from what I understand, he wasn't scared of Thanos in this movie. He just didn't want to fuck with Banner because he's using him just for fighting and shit like that. So, and I guess that his time in Ragnarok, having the body to himself, got him to this point. So I'm like, the way I'm paralleling it to is to One Piece with the whole Chopper thing. I dropped Chopper as a straw hat once I saw him dancing around in his big ass phone.
Chopper point, yeah.
Hey,
that nigga was done for me. He's not playing anymore.
Yeah,
I'm done with that shit.
We're not on that, Grim. We're not on it right now. We're not on that type of time. We're not on that type of time right now, Grim.
Yeah,
I feel you on that, bro.
Not my boy Chopper. Not Chopper.
We're gonna have this conversation later, Grant. Like that's
ruin the fuck out of fucking Monster Point. Period. Point blank.
Listen,
what kind of shit is that?
Listen, that was weak. I agree that was weak. We're not fair to disrespect Chopper like that. Like, yeah,
no, we are gonna disrespect Chopper.
Wait. Hold on, Motion Grim. So you telling me when somebody compliment Chopper and he be like, and he do that hula dance, he be like,
trash.
That's trash.
No. That's like the best. That's the best kind of the character, bro. I'm talking about in his big ass form, bro. In his beast form, you can't be dancing in nah, you gotta be full, bro.
Yo,
why not?
The reason they did that was to illustrate Chopper's control over Monster Point. Now that his personality was still there. Come on.
I'm about to expose
you had Monster Point looking devastating when we first found out.
Real life 6 foot niggas cute.
Yep,
and shit.
and then
You
now
gonna
look at
tell
that
Chopper,
shit.
You can't tell Chopper. You can't fuck with Chopper.
No, I can't fuck with him, bro. Bro, I honestly want to say it was really Saboti, bro. When in Saboti, when we saw like I think it was a Pacifista Day turn when Chopper went into his big ass form, and the Pacifista turn and was like, oh shit, unregistered issue and shit. I was like, oh, all right, Chopper finna be something in the future.
Listen, because Chopper is a goal. I tell y'all this.
Chopper's
not no more.
No, not no more. Not no more.
My hope is that
they made that
Chopper
Monster
gets
Point
to show
look
out
like
more.
trash.
Whatever, fuck it. Anyway, what was we talking about?
Yeah, but to hop back on the comics, I'm just saying like, if that's how the path of the Hulk is going in terms of the MCU, I'm not sure if I'm gonna hop on that train. He hasn't even gotten a full story and shit.
He's not never going to get a full story. They're not going to do that full banner with the Hulk is literally just going to be in movies to be there. He just going to fuck shit up just to smash shit.
No, he's not gonna fuck shit up. He got his ass beat the last movie he was in.
Yo, hold on, listen.
Yo, that was one hell of a way to open that motherfucking movie up.
Big news. Hold up, I'll make a bet with you right now that in this next movie, the Hulk and Thanos get a full fight. They literally go fight.
Is it gonna make up for that ass whooping Thanos put on?
Oh my god, Hulk has killed Thanos.
You want to know
Like,
why though?
Not
Because
in the
only
movies,
reason-
he ain't.
in the
No,
comics,
not
not in
no,
the
not in the
movies.
movies, in the
Listen.
comics. I'm just saying
But
that.
listen,
I don't think
Big
Hulk
News. You
Yeah, a
wanna
lot
know,
of people
Big
have
News. You
joked
wanna know
down
why?
though.
You wanna know why they didn't do it though? Because you can't just have like two like it's gonna look trash. Like, oh, we got a big Hulk versus Thanos fight scene and this shit. Like that shit. The next one and this next movie is gonna be way longer than the 5 minutes of the opening of the last movie. So reason why they did it like that. The
Do
Hulk
you
is
want
more
me to
prominent
describe
in
to
this.
you how he beat the brakes off?
Oh my I seen the scene. Yo, wait. Big News. Did you see Brawly? It's
Yes,
like
I seen
that.
Broly.
It's like that. Yo, when Goku and Vegeta ran up and they disappeared when Frieza was right there, that same combo that he hit Frieza with is the same combo.
Yes.
He hit the Hulk with. I know. I
He
seen
lifted him above his head with both hands, and dude was.
Can we please turn this into a bro discussion? Because I've always wanted, because I really want to discuss that movie with some people, but nobody ever.
If everybody seen it, I'm down.
Yeah, I seen.
I haven't seen it yet, but I
Aw,
can
man.
bow out if y'all want to jump on. Like that's fine by me.
No.
Like, I'm not.
We ain't
Not
finna-
not as
no,
cool,
no.
dude. You don't have to do that. We appreciate it, but you don't have to do that.
I appreciate it.
See, but wait, before we do this, right? Before we get back into yo, everybody go read Tower of God if you ain't read Tower of God.
That's right.
Oh
That's
my
right.
God.
Listen, listen, y'all
It's
listen.
called Tower of Buns.
Listen,
Shut
gotta-
up, Wallow. You know,
Right.
Yo, I gotta
Yo, Caliban
say-
is trash,
Tower
Wallow.
of Buns are.
I got a tick in my brain. When people tell me to do something, it makes it harder for me to do it.
Hey, don't read Tower of God then.
Don't read Tower of God.
Yeah, it's like reverse,
No,
like
you better not
immediate
read it. You
reverse
better not read
psychology
it.
does not work on anybody. I don't.
Do you see reverse psychology doesn't work on anybody?
So either you a
Immediate
liar,
reverse
either you a
psychology.
liar,
Immediate. Oh,
or you
Yeah.
a liar.
I mean, all
It's
I'm
one or the
saying is,
other.
bro,
One or the
Tower.
other.
Listen. All I'm saying is,
I do
Tower
wanna
of
check it
God
out, though.
is fire, man. Fire.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was telling me about it before I even started doing like YouTube stuff or whatever. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll check it out, whatever. And I just, never did because that's life.
Hey, 3 chapters a day. That's all it takes.
If we whoring out anime and manga, y'all niggas need to start reading JoJo. Read it, watch it.
This ain't the time for that, Spidey.
not
Definitely
in
not time for that.
Hey,
Oh, it
I was
is.
joking.
Oh, it is.
Hey,
It's the time for
Get
that.
back on the comics now.
Talk to him.
I cannot read a comic about a bunch of Doflamingos, man. Can't do that.
Big News, that's disrespectful. No, Big News, that's disrespectful to Doflamingo. Doflamingo's a pimp.
Wait, Big News, his name. All these dudes get great. I get it. They all suspect with their poses and everything. Hey, listen.
You
I
think the
get it.
poses?
Y'all seen that meme where JoJo humping the other nigga?
Listen.
Hater,
I get
the
it.
Ginyu Force poses. They still clean.
Okay,
No,
listen.
tell on, hater.
Let me finish.
There's one
Let me
JoJo
finish.
that's not sus, and that's
The
Jotaro.
way, let me finish.
None of them are sus.
Let me finish. Listen, let me finish. That's what I'm saying. Listen, to me, they're a little sus. I'm saying, out of all series I read, these dudes are the quickest run fades out of. And I'm being so serious. Quickest run fades out of any series I've ever read. Listen, smoke is real. Listen, the smoke is real here. I'm sorry.
Hater.
They run.
And in jail, the gay ones are quick to run fades too.
That's fine.
They're not gay. They're just like really flamboyant. Some of them.
Man,
They're like,
no one runs a phase faster than Coon. Stop it.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Mr. Finger?
Yeah, no one
That's
runs
it.
a phase faster than that.
That's
nigga.
not true. That's not true. Listen, Jotaro runs space faster than him. Dio runs.
Yeah, exactly.
Dio runs space faster than
Rand
anybody.
sees you and fucks up the whole plan, bro. Dio is calculated. Rand said,
No,
fuck
it's
plan.
on site. It's
on site.
Literally on site. It's Jotaro. Jotaro is on site. What's his name? Joseph is on site. Like listen, like they do on
Jotaro
site.
done slept. Jotaro done slept through a few attacks, my nigga.
Yeah, Josuke, you make fun of that nigga's hair, it's over.
All right, let's hop back on the comic flow though.
Yeah, let's hop back on the comics.
Hey, Uncle Ben got low diff.
Oh no, we ain't doing that. Not the
Hey, I wanted to ask y'all though, because the thing that I might read most likely is some Green Lantern shit. Like I already told you, I read what was it? I read Injustice, and I seen how they came through in the Injustice story. That shit was badass. And then I think I seen when there's been so many, like, could y'all tell me about the Green Lantern stories, like Darkest Night, Brightest Night? What's that about?
Listen.
This ain't for me.
Darkest Night is cool.
I'm gonna link you these videos, Grim. Like, I don't. Do you want to read the comic yourself, or would you like a comic breakdown done in
No,
like a
I've
nice?
seen the comic story in ones, but like,
Okay.
yeah.
You want to
But
read the comic yourself?
no. I'm talking about give me a synopsis of like.
Give me you. Oh, okay. Oh, you want a
Yeah.
synopsis? Okay, so
Yeah.
nigga, you want?
If
Can
I
you
can
start a
if I can
motherfucking?
recommend something while he sends the links, because that's already happening.
No,
I'm
no.
not trying to interrupt.
Oh no,
Sorry.
no. He don't want the links. He already seen the video.
Yeah. What
I
you
was
about to say,
just
no,
gonna
Valen?
give him.
My bad.
So yeah, no. Recommend
I
what
was
you was
just
gonna recommend though.
if anybody hasn't had a chance to read it, I've been scarcely finding, like, every now and then I go to like the Kiss Comics, or where they got the comic book section now, and they'll have Metal Batman or Batman Metal. I forget what it's called, but
Dark Knight's
basically
Metal.
the
Dark Knight's
Dark Knight's Metal. Yeah, like if you haven't had a chance to really get into that shit, it's one of the deepest, twisted, most intricately beautiful, fucked up, rotten to the core, broken, beautiful motherfucking stories I've had come out of Batman in a long time. Like, I'm
And
fucking
Batman
honest.
Batman Who Laughs gets his own comic after it.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
You see,
Yeah, and
it's
that shit's
hard.
already going too. Like, this shit is whoosh,
You said it's called Metal Batman?
next level crazy.
Grim, if anything, bro, listen, right? If you already seen, did you see both the videos on Darkest Night and Brightest Day and all that shit?
Vaguely, like I remember them to a certain extent. Go ahead.
You would need to rewatch those, right? Because it's nigga. Matter of fact, no, you need to watch the Sinestro Corps Award.
No. Hold on. But I need you to literally say the stories. Remember, we're on stream. Other niggas haven't seen it too.
Okay, wait. Let me do that because Sensei, you forgot before Sinestro Corps Wars, you have to go to Green Lantern Rebirth, and I don't mean like the reason why I mean Green Lantern Rebirth from 2004.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Yeah, the one where like Hal Jordan's been dead ever since this thing called Final Night.
But let me put it like this: tell me verbatim right now the best Green Lantern story, and help me get inspired to read more of that shit. Because out of all the ones I'm gonna read, that one. Yeah.
That's
the best Green Lantern is black, and his name is John Stewart.
It's a run. This is by Jeff Johns, right? This is Jeff Johns' Green Lantern. This is a run of Green Lantern. So it all culminates with Brightest Day, right? So you start off with Green Lantern Rebirth. He come back to life, nigga.
Who is he?
And then
Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan comes back to life, right? So boom, I'm skipping ahead, nigga. You get to Sinestro Corps. Sinestro Corps War. Sinestro has been amassing an army of niggas. He been making a yellow ring, sending them out through the universe since
making yellow rings.
Yes.
He created the Yellow Lantern Corps.
Yeah, he created the Yellow Lantern Corps. So now, nigga, they go to war with the Green Lanterns. Boom, the Green Lanterns can't kill people. If you ain't know that, like, nigga, they can only beat you up. The Sinestro Corps niggas can kill, so nigga, they off in Green Lantern.
No, what you mean they can't kill? Like, they're not allowed to, or the ring?
The ring literally has a no kill restriction on it.
Oh, so you can't use the powers to kill?
Yes, you can't use the powers to kill. So nigga, you will not.
Unless you're Batman, in which case you can break.
Hold on, bro. I don't mean to spend time on it a second, but like, I in the movies I've seen this nigga do all kinds of heavy ass shit to Superman, bro. You telling me if the ring allowed?
But that ain't kill him.
The ring can't kill Superman.
It kill him though.
No, but I'm saying like does the ring like
it knows, bro.
It knows. Yeah. The ring has
The
like
ring
has
would-
a mind. Yeah, it's
sentient.
If he punched me with the ring, he would do the exact same amount of damage at full power as he would do to Superman, because he can't kill me. He can only do enough to knock me the fuck out for however long he needs to. He just can't kill me.
Yeah,
That's the
that
same amount of
ring
power
was like
that
stupid
he has.
strong.
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit. But at the same time, you get to say shit like, "Yeah, he punched me as hard as Superman. Whatever, I was just knocked out." Like, I mean, I would say that, but I'm not like a superhero. I'm just a schmo.
But what I'm saying is, there's a Green Lantern for you, and there's a Green Lantern for me. Some Green Lanterns are white.
Big news, we know John Stewart is the GOAT. Let's go.
John Stewart is the GOAT.
John Stewart's probably the best done Lantern. Period.
I don't know about that.
He
to be
is
honest.
Better than
No,
Kyle
John-
Rayner. He's
well,
better than Hal Jordan. He's
this
better than
thing-
all of
Hell
them.
nah.
This
Yes,
thing,
he
this
is.
John Stewart is
Give
the
me
best
why
done,
you
but hit
say.
the
Give me why
strongest.
you say that. Give me
No, I
some
didn't say the
real
strongest.
character. No,
Give you why?
not
I didn't say
I'm
strongest.
gonna give you
I'm
three
hearing-
words. Because he's black. Duh.
I'm talking to Captain Fallon though. He said he's the best done Green Lantern. Yeah, I want to know like give me
Tell him,
like the
Captain.
real sentiment to like fucking
All right.
like because
Body
really
him,
want to hear this shit.
and then tell him he's black
Now,
at the end.
Oh, that's easy. I'm Puerto Rican and I'm really pale, so
That's right.
Nigga, I thought you was white. Wow.
yeah, that happens. Me and Pitbull, we're just pale as hell. It's not our fault. But yeah, my experience doesn't come from the comic books. I'm not that deep into that. But there's portrayals in various media from like TV, movies, and things like that I do pick up from. So don't hate on me. I haven't even read the wiki, so hey.
You talking about the Justice League? In Justice League Unlimited. God damn it.
Exactly. Like the portrayals of that, and like when they do the flashbacks and stuff, and Hal Jordan is always so fucking stiff, so rigid, and there's a breakability in the rigidness as opposed to the way fucking Jon Stewart approaches problems, and the way his mind works is more fluid, and that allows him to handle situations differently. And because of that, like he's stopped how many galactic fucking wars that Hal Jordan would have probably ran right fucking into? I want to say like 3. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know that they're there. You
Galactic Wars.
What the fuck? Like they're planetary wars that are out in the galaxy. I don't mean like
Hal Jordan is the greatest Green Lantern.
Wait, Sensei, let me preface that for you. Please let me preface that. And that's not our words. That's literally the words of characters in the comics, like the people who founded the Green Lantern Corps. Like Lantern Ring,
the tribunals or niggas, or the leaders or whatever.
That's bullshit.
The Guardians.
The
Guardians.
I can't trust their opinion.
But listen, right? This nigga Hal Jordan, right, bro? Hal Jordan gets he's the main character out of all of them. I'm not gonna go into like he didn't got more exposure and all that shit. Like his character is just literally more developed than the rest of these niggas. Like he's been through
had
more.
like 40 more years, right?
Oh, y'all forgetting where Hal Jordan went crazy and killed all the other Green Lanterns? Y'all forgetting that? He's the best one though.
Spidey, he redeemed himself.
He's the best one though.
Spidey, he redeemed himself.
Yo, my man,
you can redeem yourself from something like that. Like, what are you saying, Sensei?
Hold up, wait. How can, bro, a literal entity of pure fear, bro, came and took over his body? Some shit like, bro, what do you mean? Like niggas redeem themselves from shit like that all the time. Like, how did Jean Grey redeem herself from Dark Phoenix?
She didn't, in my opinion. I don't think you can redeem yourself from shit like that.
That's right.
Okay, whoa, time, Spidey. Like, not to tangent off there, but to be fair, the Phoenix thing was Jean had even less control of herself than Hal had of himself when it came to Parallax. So I don't even think Jean Grey needed to redeem herself, in my opinion.
It's like billions of people died because of the whole Phoenix thing. But with Hal Jordan, like, yeah, it was Parallax possessing him, but he left his body susceptible to that when he gave into fear with the whole, like, he was like the whole Hank Henshaw thing. It wasn't totally Parallax. Parallax needed an environment that he could live in.
Wait.
His city got decimated.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for being upset about that. Like, I totally understand, Delvin.
Yeah, it's a very human thing, but that's the problem. Like, therein lies the issue of having a human Green Lantern. Like, when they have a city destroyed, they question that shit. There's other aliens may not have that level of pause. You know what I mean?
Weren't there 2 lanterns at the same time for Earth or something like that?
I think
there are like
four
human lanterns.
Oh, wow, really?
There's Hal. God's the best one.
No, I mean I'm talking about at the same time.
Are
they're all simultaneously lanterns, all 4 of them.
No, like all 3 of them niggas have been alive at once.
Hold on. They were all alive, holding the power of the ring.
No, Rain.
They all have different Green Lantern rings, but they're all Green Lanterns at the same time.
Rainer, like all them niggas are kicking, bro.
Rainer is stupid strong.
So hold on. So is it like do they assign you based in your region based on how dangerous it is? Like, can it be more common for you to have more lanterns if your area is more dangerous?
It's honestly a rarity for Disney Lanterns to be on the same universe, never mind the same planet.
There's one gay nigga.
Not universe, that was an exaggeration. I meant like galaxy.
Yeah, this is just fuckery, is what it is. Let's be real. But let's talk about my favorite.
All the rings, though.
My favorite. I gotta go in like 7 minutes because I gotta be up stupid early because of babies. Anyway, I want to talk about Atrocitus and Dexter.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can we do
The
that?
Red
'Cause
Lanterns.
Red Lanterns, like I actually sorry, this is one thing I wikied, but it was mostly because of Injustice. They didn't give me enough backstory on that motherfucker when I played, so I needed to know more. And I found a comic for Dexter and shit, and I read that. That was dope.
Yeah, you didn't
Like,
know Dexter was the actual Earth Cat.
Yeah. Oh my god, and it was just a house cat that got super mad and started murdering motherfuckers, and I was like,
It's
I don't
crazy.
even
He
like
was
cats, but this is my dude right here.
he was the
Like,
angriest living organism on the planet at that time.
at that moment, yeah. Like how fucking, oh my god, and just the fact that he got to be angry and then murder them, but yeah. Anyway, Atrocitus's approach to shit is so fucking visceral, and that's one of the reasons I love the Red Lanterns and how he just kind of like the way he gives them out to people and shit. You know what I mean?
Atrocitus ain't even wrong.
Exactly. Like he's just mad about shit, and he's allowed to be.
This is not
You know what I
wrong.
mean? Like he's not evil. He's anger. He's rage. You can be enraged about
You
shit
know
that's
why?
correct.
You know why he's mad?
Then where confidence like people get like fucked up. Like
He got
his
all them
family and
teeth and
shit.
no toothbrush.
Listen. Before the Green Lanterns, the Maltrusians, which is the Guardians of the what's the name? Like the Guardians of Oa. Them niggas from the Green Lanterns. Yeah. They came out with these other shits called what is they called? The Death Stars or what? No, not the Death Stars. The fucking.
I remember. I can't think of the name.
I can't.
I can't.
The Sentinel motherfuckers.
The Manhunters.
Manhunters.
Yeah, the Manhunters. That's right, Spidey.
Yeah, Manhunters. Yeah, facts. So they came out with them joints, and the Manhunters malfunctioned, and they just was wiping out life. They just was killing niggas, and they killed his whole race of people and shit. And then they locked them up and just basically like sealed all information of them and started the Green Lanterns. So it's like, nigga, this nigga, he like, nigga, y'all think y'all could just get away with this shit? Hell nah, I'm about to come kill all the Green Lanterns, all y'all niggas.
Mm-hmm. And he was gonna too.
No, the fuck
Oh
he
my
wasn't.
god. Well, not all of them, but he was going. He was trying. I'm saying, like, he was never gonna beat he was never gonna go to Earth and survive. Like, I don't think there's a lot of people who can. There's 3 fucking lanterns there.
Dude, there are like 4.
Actually, I mean, we say that, but like in the Injustice comics, bro, they manhandled that nigga, bro. That like they manhandled all the fucking lanterns and shit as if like they weren't that strong, bro.
Really?
In the Injustice
Superman,
comics,
yeah, he did.
they literally manhandled all the lanterns and shit. And it wasn't just Superman. It was like all the people that were on Superman's side, like Wonder Woman, and a few of the other Justice League heroes. Yeah,
You're talking about Injustice though.
No, I'm talking about you.
Isn't that continuity or a form of continuity?
Yeah.
That's another.
That's what I read about. That's what I know about.
Alternate universe.
Different. To be fair,
Yeah, that's a universe where
only one I
Superman
know
kills
about.
niggas. Yeah, that's.
Actually,
You don't want to be part of that one.
that's when you have Superman Unleashed. That's when you realize that Superman was literally like the worst thing your worst nightmare when he actually don't care. When you don't give 2 fucks no more.
That's why I think
Batman's been warning everybody about.
Yeah,
I think Lex Luthor is like, we're just relying on this dude's benevolence. What happens if he has a bad day and says, you know what, fuck this. I got cut off. I got my foot stepped on. They ruined my new Nikes. I'm murdering everybody.
Listen, unless you're like broken, like some kind of like constant being or something like that, you'd not be Superman. Unless you're like
No, if you're fucking halfway decent mage, you can fuck that nigga up.
Yeah, you're made.
Here's right. Like the most annoying part about Superman in the Injustice universe was in the first game where like he realized Lex had betrayed him and had just died, and like he was stewing over and like pissed off while everyone else was thinking about what to do, and he was like, I tried to save everyone. I tried to make this peaceful world.
Man, I don't.
But here's my problem with that. Nobody asked you to do that. You can't complain when people like revolt against you when you try to make like a regime against them.
Yeah, but everyone was killing each other, so they didn't ask. But like, you
know, he's like, hey, if nothing else is working, I'm gonna do it.
He's like, I'm gonna be daddy now, and y'all can't do this for yourselves. I'm gonna do it.
I just know. Listen, I said, let's know. Superman was starting up to fold. I'll say fold, but fight gods and beat them. Like Superman was legit, like out here, like
he
I don't care.
the fuck out of Zeus.
Listen,
Oh yeah, he fucked up Hercules too, nigga. Them niggas is out there, bro.
Listen. Superman is out here. Like I said, unless you're like some broken cosmic being or you got magic, you're not beating him. You can have all the rings. You can have any suit. No, he gonna fold you because he wants to.
Because he wants to. You're not wrong though. I mean, that's Superman though. That's kind of always been his thing. Though. That's the problem
He
with
was like, "Oh,
Superman.
you can handle this, huh?" He started slapping that nigga around.
Dude, that cardboard house, that cardboard world speech was dope as fuck though. Like, let's
Yeah, and just like
that was one of the best
He's like,
speeches.
"You can take it, can't you, big man?" I was like,
He was like,
"Oh,
all right, now I gotta stop trying to hold back. And then the hit started hitting Mach 5, and you got the shockwave.
That nigga had a
He's
shockwave with his punch. As soon as that big
Dude,
connected,
that episode was also awesome just because we got Batman dodging the mega beams.
also
Right.
crazy.
That was the
that
dumbest
was
thing.
a feat in itself.
That's where
Bad
annoying.
Dog came
Cause
from.
them shits don't miss. That's the crazy
Yeah,
part.
and Darkseid's like Darkseid's like, hey, nobody's ever done that before. I gotta give you props.
He's like, that was impressive, my nigga. Like, he's one of his own men as a fucking shield. I was like, that's kind of crazy.
I don't get that shit, man. That's the same.
Which
reason
I
why
would like to note, like 40 other heroes have done, and it didn't work. But I'm not going to mention that. We're not going to talk about that. So let's just keep going.
I mean, I could also bring up how inconsistent the Omega Beams are in the sense that they should be an insta kill, but when it comes to Superman, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's Superman.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be an insta kill though.
Yeah, that's just Superman.
Darkseid's supposed to be like this, like stupidly strong, like
He's a god.
he is a god.
No,
like,
no,
the
he
crazy
is.
thing about
This
Darkseid
thing-
is like in the multiverse, there's only one of that motherfucker.
Yeah,
No, he
he's
is.
not
Like,
even really there. That's just
it's day late. We gets his full power. Like he legit like
That
top
nigga's like the
top
end all
5 in
be all,
DC.
bro.
He's like top 5 in DC where he has his full power, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And the Omega Beam, it doesn't just only kill you; it can trap you in an
Yeah, the Omega
everlasting
Sanction.
jet.
What?
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, unless you Batman.
Yeah.
No, Sensei, to be fair, no, it did the same thing with Batman, but just in a different way. It sent him through time.
Nah, man.
You need to
Batman,
press down and B when you use the power to activate it. It's crazy.
No, listen. Everybody else, you either get eviscerated from like existence, or nigga, that's what the Omega Beams do, nigga. But this nigga Batman, I'm going back in time, nigga. I'm back.
Yeah, that's what the Omega Sanction is for. You live through everything, or you live through a series of
like
different
you just die and die and die, and you keep coming back, and they find worse ways to kill you.
But to be fair, that could also be chalked up to the plot of Darkseid. To like his whole point of sending Batman back through time to come back was just so he could build up enough energy within his body so that Batman would basically become a bomb to destroy all of existence.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a devious guy. That
Yeah, that Darkseid was a motherfucker, boy. And
This
then
man
nigga Vandal
made
Savage
the
has
most
been
evil
working with
math
him since the
equation of all
beginning of
time.
That's the craziest part. That motherfucker Vandal Savage has been kicking it with this nigga for forever.
Yeah,
man. Vandal
See
Savage
that's the part I didn't get about
coming on Earth.
about the how they did it in the actual movie version for DC side. Like they kind of had like some kind of good setup for the whole for Darkseid's arriving shit like that, like since it was talking about earlier, and then the Steppenwolf shit. I didn't really hate Steppenwolf. He just wasn't a villain, bro. Like I just thought it was like a mercenary that they sent to like lead the way, and he fit that role.
Yeah.
But apparently niggas was like, oh, he was trash. He had a lot more development. He did a lot more shit. In the role he had in the movie, to me was fine. I just thought they needed more connection for it.
I didn't watch this.
no, they
I didn't watch Justice League, but did they mention that Steppenwolf was Darkseid's uncle?
Real quick, I'm just gonna say
I had
goodbye.
no clue about that.
I don't think. No,
real quick.
I don't think he is in the movies.
But
real quick, let me say thank you to Grim for inviting me because I gotta head out. Sorry for cutting people off. I'm leaving. I'm sorry. Thanks, Grim, for reminding me that I could actually jump in this because I totally forgot at the time.
Nice
so
talking,
thank you very much.
with you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I love the conversation. Next time we're doing this, let me know. I'll like get a nap or something beforehand so I can actually like
Valen,
stay here for longer.
Valen, we gonna collab one day when I'm not lazy, fam. We'll collab one day.
Oh, I'm lazy, but we still gonna do it. Don't worry.
Man.
Oh, don't wait on Hater. Hater gonna take forever.
All right, man. Yeah, we'll talk. Peace.
Take it easy, bro.
Take it easy, man.
All right, but back to
They
this.
cut a lot of
Yeah,
shit from that movie.
like
Like
what?
the Justice League movie, they like the shit with Steppenwolf. It was supposed to be more like it was supposed to hit you. They were supposed to show you like a connection with Darkseid. Like Darkseid was holding, I think it was like his mother or some shit over his head, and that's why he had to do what he had to do. It was like nigga, he was trying to do what he was trying to do to get his mother's soul or some shit back, some shit like that. Like they cut a lot of that shit out of the movie because some shit happened, nigga. It was some shit to where they had to change the whole Justice League to, like at a certain point.
I was
When
about
it
to
was
say
like
because
75%.
I remember the whole Snyder thing, right? When that one director's daughter died or some shit like that.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, something like that. I get that. I'm just saying, like, he wasn't even like a character, but he was just like an obstacle the entire time, which I'm fine with for how they used him. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It seemed badass how they were going to connect the Darkseid thing. Like in the movie, what was it, Justice League War? I think it was. That shit played out amazing. That was a good ass animated movie, and because
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but with that, Grim, you keep in mind in that movie, I like it too, but it was Darkseid was basically had the same problem that Steppenwolf apparently had. Like he barely had any personality or anything. He was just there to be there.
Yeah,
I
I
don't even
get
remember him
that.
talking
He
in
was
that
just
movie.
there, just
Like he
he was
said
really
like
just
one,
there
he said
floating
like
around looking
3
out.
lines,
Yeah.
and they were all 3 words each.
I mean, but
Yeah,
to be fair, like if they
that
would
shit
have,
still was epic.
if like, all right, so the way I'm comparing is with Thanos, right? Thanos, he technically got cameos a lot of times in like the after credit scenes, different movies like that. So we didn't really know what was going on with him besides the culmination of a plan. He had a big ass scheme that was going on, and I feel like they did that in the Justice League movie for Darkseid. Sure, they should have done it like in other movies, but like there wasn't that much info to really do about that. Like if you really think about it, all that planning shit that Thanos did, they even skipped at the beginning of the movie. They told us that they skipped the scene where he got the Power Stone, and then they just referenced it later on when Thor was talking about it. So it's not like they didn't skip shit for Thanos, and then they technically just added like emotional shit in the middle of the movie, which is fine. But that was because that was his movie. In the Justice League movie, it wasn't Darkseid's movie, or in Justice League War, it wasn't Darkseid's movie. It was about the Justice League. So that's why I'm like, I would have been okay if like there was a Justice League 2 where Darkseid succeeds in the first one, and then in the second one they have to deal with that. But they made the entire first movie resolution about just the heroes and shit. That was my only problem with it. I feel like Steppenwolf attacking the Amazons, badass scene, played out badass, very very good CGI shit when they were doing it or whatever. But the rest of the movie was just, it fell off. Like I didn't really give a fuck about the Justice League niggas. Like it just wasn't.
That was the point of that shit though. It was supposed to, because they needed, like it was supposed to be Darkseid sent somebody to attack them. They go to Darkseid, lose, and then Darkseid come to Earth and take that shit over. And then nigga, they gotta come back from Darkseid shit and regain Earth. That's how the shit was supposed to go. That's the whole trilogy right there. So like they needed, like that's why it's like nigga with Thanos it's different, bro. Thanos got set up, all that shit. For Darkseid, bro, you don't have a Justice League setup for Darkseid. Darkseid literally just pop up and he just there. And nigga, they just got fight this nigga. They find out this nigga exists and shit with him just being there and shit like that. Like Darkseid backstory is like you get that in like New Gods. That's literally separate from DC up until a point. And then when he appeared, he literally just appeared. Ain't no like messengers of Darkseid and shit like that. Like they had Steppenwolf and shit, but nigga, you see Darkseid right then and like nigga, like it ain't no he's searching for the like it's pieces of the what's in name. Like nigga, he just searching for the anti-life equation, and nigga, he need that shit. And he coming to get it. It ain't like it's just Infinity Stone here, there.
Can we talk about how awesome it is that he basically just has a math equation that makes everybody serve him because they're like, your life means nothing.
It is interesting. An interesting concept.
I have it pulled up right now. Loneliness plus alienation plus fear plus despair plus self-worth divided by mockery divided by condemnation.
Is that really
by,
what it is?
Yeah, that is
divided by
what it is. But that's
misunderstanding
only
times
80%.
guilt times
That's
shame
only
times
80%.
failure times judgment. N equals y, where y equals hope and n equals folly. Love equals
That is-
life, lies. Life equals death, and self equals dark side.
That's really interesting and corny at the same time.
Not gonna lie, bro. That last part made it corny, but yeah, I was.
Okay,
Yo,
when he
you know
put
what's
his
funny as hell? Darkseid only wielded 80% of the anti-life equation.
What does that mean, man?
He didn't even have like the full full totality of it.
Like, how would he
So
implement
Grim, the anti-life equation is pretty much like you control everything. Like everyone serves you if you get the full equation.
Basically.
You're the ruler of all. Yeah.
Unless I got the life equation.
Yeah.
Good thing I got that though.
That shit, like, bro, like,
such a ridiculous concept, and that's why I love comic books.
I'm not saying something that crazy isn't like crazy, but that's crazy, bro.
It is crazy.
Yeah, how did he even implement these like emotions into like working? Like, what is it? Is there like physical embodiments of like loneliness and despair and shit? Like
No,
Bro,
Darkseid
not
don't worry
world,
about it.
Apocalypse,
Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry about it. Spy J, worry about that.
He
Just
tortured
listen.
the
Just what it
fuck
is.
out of them people.
Like, how do
And
you
then he
define
was
despair
It's
by
a
mockery?
finesse. Listen, it's a
That doesn't
finesse.
make
All
sense.
you know is a finesse. Listen, it's a finesse. That's all you need to know. It's a finesse. That's it.
Yo, please, can I, Spidey? Let me tell you. If you don't know, I think the first time I remember Darkseid getting an anti-life equation for me is when he was boss Darkseid, and nigga like he had got reincarnated. He got
Final
reincarnated.
Crisis.
Yeah, he got reincarnated into like this dude on Earth that was like as a baby or whatever, right? And then he just grew up and he became a boss, a CEO. And then he finally learned the anti-life equation, and he just spread it over the internet, and people just seen it, and it was over. Like he was boss Darkseid.
Listen, that's all. Listen, Spy J, you try to overthink it. Don't overthink. Listen, just know it's a finesse move. That's all you need to know. It's an entire finesse move.
I always knew that. I always knew that he wanted it, and that if he got it, what would happen. But I didn't know it was like fucking loneliness plus fear divided by with X and Y and shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a whole ass equation.
You didn't think it was Spidey. The word equation is literally in the name. You didn't think it was going to be actually.
I thought it was like kind of like a chemical equation, like a chemical.
This nigga seen the
No,
Justice League, bro.
it's
You don't
a
remember the Justice League?
it's a
Lex
formula.
Yes,
had
yeah.
it?
Lex
Yeah,
held a
he had to
physical
have a level of
manifestation of it.
intelligence to get
The
that.
the anti-life equation is a formula for total control over the mind of sentient
Yeah.
beings. So he
Yeah.
literally like they have no control over themselves after that. Like he literally owns them.
Yeah, but
I get
listen.
that. How would you
Spidey thought,
implement that?
How you think Lex became president,
he
my
just
nigga?
said it. He just said it.
Anti-life equation. Let's go.
Yo, bro, he
That
just
motherfucker brought back Darkseid. That nigga was a prisoner, and then slowly but surely started running for president after he was a whole ass villain that everyone knew because he got that equation and he gave it to Darkseid, dude.
Wait, for real? Like Lex got
That was in the Justice League. That was in the Justice League, bro.
That was in the Justice League. Yeah.
I think that was Justice League.
After that, Lex ran for president. It was crazy.
Wait, the president thing. He's done that. He's done that in comics before, but he also did that in the Batman and Superman anime movie, Batman and Superman and Public Enemies.
Yeah, I was like, what? How is this nigga? Don't nobody else remember this shit? Yeah,
I remember that shit.
Yeah.
This nigga, the shit that Lex had in his hand though, it was like white spinning disc.
Yeah, it was.
He was like the anti-life equation.
Yeah, that nigga knew immediately. He was like, the anti-life equation.
Bro, that's like, that's the other thing I don't get. Like, how is that nigga like that capable, bro? Like, why is it that?
Because he's a 10th level intellect, bro. Listen, let me put it to you like this:
he's so smart.
Batman himself is only an 8th level intellect. So Lex Luthor is 2 levels above him, but Brainiac is a 12th level intellect. So like Lex Luthor would technically be like the smartest motherfucker on the planet, right? But then nigga is still like he still ain't the smartest out there in the joint. You know? But he up there, like he that nigga though.
Yeah, the only time like Batman would ever possibly surpass Luthor would be when he got in Metron's chair, the Mobius chair, I believe it's called.
Yeah, bro, Lex Luthor's so smart, nigga. They don't really portray it like that, bro. But he got little like bullshit not telekinetic powers, but bro, he could write and see in infrared and shit like that because of like just how advanced his mind. Like that's crazy, right? This nigga, he
Like,
that smart.
yeah, that motherfucker builds like weapons of mass destruction you can carry in the palm of your hand. It's stupid.
Bro, like that don't even like. So why does he always lose to Superman? If he's that intelligent,
Because he hates Superman.
Nah, bro. Listen. We were told several
He's the main
times
character.
that if Batman has prep time, he can beat anybody. Now you're telling me that this person is 2 times superior to his intellect, and he continues to lose to Superman?
Well, not 2 times. He's 2 levels.
That Batman prep thing is bullshit because he fights the same villains all the time, and he will routinely get his ass whooped against niggas he's fought 100 times before. Like that. Like,
But Spidey, does he win in the end? Does he get the W in the end though?
Yeah, but by that logic, if he has prep time, he would like literally beat them before they ever had a chance to put up a fight.
Yeah, but his whole thing is he doesn't want to stop the crime in Gotham. He could. He's always been capable of it. But this is his therapy. Beating these niggas' ass, getting his ass beat, and then winning in the end, that's his therapy.
So again, you remember didn't Brainiac body Batman one time in the comics? I could have swear he did.
Hell yeah.
Brainiac's body never won in the comics before.
Yeah.
Brainiac body everybody.
Brainiac ruled the world.
I say like
No justice and no justice, bro. Brainiac body everybody and then put them all in teams.
I'm saying Batman with prep time. No, Brainiac with like 10 minutes will body the universe. Like that,
you get Brainiac
but
day,
you know what's the sad part though? You know what's the sad part? If any writer just wanted to like really just be a dickhead, Superman would be as smart as Brainiac. Superman is like that nigga. Like they just don't like Superman's intellect isn't quantified because nigga he could be literally as smart as he wanted to be.
No, didn't they say that he thinks as fast as the Flash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's why that verse does not work. If you are the Flash, you are God. And then they have literal gods too. What? It just doesn't mix.
No, I think the scary one of the scariest things I
Darkseid's a
ever
god.
saw was Lex Luthor's body and Lex Luthor's mind in the Flash's body. That motherfucker caused hella havoc.
That happened before? What?
Yeah.
Just League cartoon.
He was
happened in Just League cartoon, and he was going savage. Like one guy who was working at the Watchtower was like, "Get me out of here, or I'm gonna vibrate my fingers through your skull."
Yeah, like that motherfucker was like shaking doors that were like fucking sealed shut. He was like, "Yeah, fuck this," and he was just causing explosions everywhere.
Bro, listen, they got a Batman version of the Flash. He called the Red Death. That's from that shit that Fallon was telling you about, that Dark Knight's Metal.
Dark Knight's Metal.
Like, bro, listen.
Oh
bro,
no, he was out here.
Listen, bro, listen. Let me tell you.
He
about
was
this shit,
out
bro.
here. Oh my god.
So basically, nigga, it's the shit called the Dark Multiverse, and in this shit, like that, you get the stories of like these dark, like Batman, these dark Batman, like they all got the same like the Bruce Wayne up until a point. Like nigga, they all like some of their points be like at as soon as they mom and dad die. Like the one nigga, as soon as his mom and dad die, nigga, he get accustomed to guns and he basically like Punisher Batman, nigga.
The Grim Knight. Basically, what happens is after Joe Chill shoots down his parents and he freaks out and runs, but drops the gun. And while his back is turned while he's running, Bruce Wayne picks up the gun and just caps him.
Yeah, and Batman basically the Punisher Batman. It's another one, nigga, where how he become the Red Death is, nigga. Bruce Wayne just can't take it no more. He like, man, fuck this shit, man. Flash, I need your powers, man. Give me the Speed Force. But nigga, the Flash like, hell nah, man. You're not gonna be able to do it. I mean, I think he wanted to go back in time so he could fix some shit. Flash was like, yo, you know what happened when I tried to do it? You can't do it. So that nigga Bruce was like, all right, cool. So what did he do? I forgot how he stopped.
He tapes the cosmic treadmill to the Batmobile and was Flash.
And then puts Flash on the Batmobile. They start racing and then they just merge. And then he become the Red Death. It's one where he like Aquaman. They get all these niggas. It's just like nigga.
Yeah, it's weird that in the Aquaman universe
that reminds me
where he becomes Aquaman, he's gender bent.
Tell me about the skull nigga on the motorcycle. Ghost Rider?
Ghost Rider?
Yeah. Apparently Ghost Rider is one of the brokest niggas in the verse and shit too.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. He has the penance there, which basically makes all your regrets and stuff kill you.
Yeah.
Turns
except unless you're the Punisher.
Like the smallest infraction of anything costs you your life.
He
Like
turns
you
the
can
sin.
say, I could ask you if you ate today, and you tell me no, and if that nigga is right there and you did eat, nigga, that's your life. Like,
What? For
He
real?
turns he
Yeah,
turns
I'm
the
just
sin.
saying, for every sin you must repent.
He turns the sin back on the sinner, basically.
Yeah,
Unless
it's
you're
Depends
Punisher,
what you
in which
talking
case it
about.
doesn't work for some reason.
Like
Nigga, it depends on
unless
what you talking
unless you
about.
don't
Which
feel
Ghost
like
Rider
what you
you
did was wrong, you're not gonna.
No,
It doesn't work.
it really
But the
depends on
sin
what
still
Ghost Rider
exists.
you're talking about, bro. Because the new Ghost Rider, his ass is trash.
Oh,
I'm not gonna say
that
he's
Robbie,
trash, bro.
his name like
Yeah,
Robbie
Robbie
Reyes,
Reyes.
like that
Yeah.
faggot.
Yeah.
They nerfed him?
He's
Wow, you guys really like. I don't like the guy either, but I thought I was in the minority. I've heard a lot of people like hype him up.
He doesn't even ride a motorcycle. He rides that dumbass car, right?
I hate
he
that so
rides a
much.
car.
Why would you have Ghost Rider? The cool thing about him is that he rides a motorcycle.
No, that wasn't the cool thing about
I ain't gonna
it.
lie, the car. I thought the car was dope when I saw
but
that shit.
I mean, the
raw
car is awesome, but I prefer.
hold on,
But
the raw
as
shit
somebody
he
who
did, though,
legitimately prefers motorcycles as a vehicle, I got a little heated
he
by
rode a
that.
Celestial,
I
yo.
like
He
I
rode a
like
Celestial,
fuck
though, y'all
Daniel
boys.
Ketch. I like Johnny Blaze. That's Ghost Rider.
But listen, he rode a Celestial, though. That's like his biggest thing. But like him himself, like when he attacking shit, he can't. He a measly ass nigga. Like nigga, they was fighting niggas and shit. He couldn't do shit, nigga. He just possessed a dead ass Celestial, though. He rode that bitch.
Are they like aren't they actual beings? How does that work?
What the Celestials?
Yeah.
The Celestials are actual beings, but they really like just I want to say like cosmic energy to a certain extent.
Yeah.
See, I don't get
They
that.
a
What
race
They
is
have
of
that?
like these
beings.
Like when
avatars
we
that
get into
they
cosmic,
show
when we
you,
get into the cosmic stuff,
but
of
that's not like
Marvel,
their
we
real
literally
bodies.
need like a map of stuff to like
Yeah,
explain that.
like bro, when the Celestial died, bro, I literally go to a bar called the Bar of the Fulcrum. So it's like they got their own little resting place and all that shit. Like nigga,
Yeah, and they're not really dead. Like that's just an avatar that you beat,
yeah,
and then
they
them
gonna go
niggas
in that.
still really chilling somewhere else.
No, that's not. It's not even that, bro. They are dead, right? But nigga, the universe is gonna reset, and they just gonna come back.
What?
Like that's like in Marvel, bro. The universe has reset. I think 8 or 9 times. I think.
Okay.
I love comics.
Yeah.
See that?
Whereas fucking DC has infinite.
That's the part
fucking
that bothers me
universes.
the most. The fact that like they'll explain a certain concept that's concrete. Like for example, like the whole Ghost Rider thing you guys were explaining, right? But then you get another guy who is also concrete, and then they just like don't mix or something. Like how does that work? If one person has the
Wait,
ultimate,
what do you mean? Like who, for example?
like for example,
like
there's
powers versus powers and shit.
yes. Why do some powers override others, and how does that like? Why does that work?
It's
that way?
because of the level of like power and shit. Like, okay, so let me put it to you like this, right? So like nigga, this is some obvious shit, right? Like nigga, if I'm some telepath nigga and I'm trying to fight Professor X nigga, Professor X telepathy is just better than mine. So he gonna do me dirty when it comes to this telepathy shit. So it's literally just like it's levels to that shit. Like nigga, if you could warp reality like all the way from your street to like California, then you power from your street to California, right? You could warp the shit out of that reality right there. But if I could do that shit all across the world, nigga, you can't do shit with me. You feel me?
Well, bro, that to use your same example, right? We're both reality warpers, right? And we're standing within the same space, so our range is going to be the same. What in the verse, using like real life examples, dictates whether one power is stronger than the other?
The strength, like that's what I'm saying. Like it'll literally
strength
be
level.
like the
No, but
strength.
like there are niggas that have like powers that are absolute. Like a nigga can just there are niggas that can like remove you from existence, right? Like Dr. Manhattan, he can do something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How is there somebody who can reverse the absoluteness of Dr. Manhattan?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
literally
always
by,
somebody
like-
above somebody. Never fails.
Now listen, right? What I'm gonna put it to you like this is like the reason why is because it's just like the levels of power. Like as of right now, like Dr. Manhattan, like if you was talking like I swear if you was talking maybe like 6 months ago, I would have been like, it's hard to say. Cause Dr. Manhattan looked like he created a whole DC universe and shit, right? But then you get revelations and shit like, nigga, he might lose to Superman. Like, bro, the nigga literally say, nigga, like in the Doomsday Clock shit, like nigga, he see himself, he could see all possibilities and shit, all that shit, right? But there's one thing he can't see past. He sees Superman coming up to him, angry as fuck, and punching him in the face, and it's black. Can't see shit. He don't know whether Superman destroyed him or he destroyed everything right after Superman punched him. So nigga, like, it's niggas that know what the fuck is gonna happen right after that. He don't know. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he not all knowing if he don't know that. No.
What
You
about
feel
that
me?
nigga Amazo? That fucking android that like went
Amazo?
like.
Oh yeah, Amazo's OP.
Oh my god! That
Especially
bitch
in the
moved Oa out
in
the
the
way. I
Justice
was
League
like,
cartoon,
what?
where
How do
he
you move
literally
a
just
whole
learned
ass
how to be
planet?
God.
Yeah, that nigga was.
Amazo in the cartoon was crazy strong.
He
Yeah,
learned
it
how
was
to be
ridiculous.
God.
That nigga shit on the whole Green Lantern Corps like it wasn't nothing.
God damn, bruh.
And
Yeah,
then came
his
the
OP
body
was basically
Superman, went into a fucking like atomic universe, and still found Lex Luthor. I was like, damn, man, this nigga was really
and
on
Lex
your
only
ass.
lived because Amazo let him. He was like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
let me
like,
just
quite
let me
literally.
just fix my way out of this. Let me just tell you that you're not angry with me." He was like,
Yeah.
"All right."
So, all right. So tell me about the because like you're referring to the fact that like stronger beings, even though they may have similar powers, can overwhelm somebody with similar powers. So like,
I mean,
what about like those different entities, like the little guy with the hat that's apparently like a reality warp or some shit like that.
You mean Mr. Mixoplex?
Yeah, Mr. Mixoplex, and then there's the father of Raven.
Batmite. Oh no! Oh, Trigon.
Trigon.
Yeah, Trigon's
Oh, no,
different.
Trigon is not on
motherfucker.
Mixoplex level. Mixoplex is like
Yeah,
he's like a fourth or a fifth dimensional being.
I think it's like fifth.
Yeah, fifth.
What the fuck?
Like basically,
pure fuckery is what he is.
yeah, we're basically cartoons. We'd be cartoons to him basically.
Yeah, he is
He's got
pure
that
fuckery.
tool.
Yeah.
He just hops into a universe and fucks with it just for shits and giggles.
Trigon is still massively powerful, but like it would take a whole bunch of heroes to stop him. But I wouldn't go as far to say he's Mixoplex level and anything that.
So that's different dimensions and shit then.
Yeah,
Isn't Trigon just like he's like an because
he's an interdimensional demon.
Yeah.
Okay, so then how like this is the part. Okay, so apparently Constantine is dealing with like demons and angels and shit like that, right?
Yes.
How does that work in context with him, with Mr. Pitalik and Trigon and them niggas like that? Like how does that play out?
Isn't Lucifer like he's stronger than all those guys, right?
Lucifer is broken.
He'd be stronger than Mr. I bet Lucifer is like him and Michael are like the strongest of the angels, from what I can understand.
Yeah, and God even gave Lucifer his own copy of Earth in his own dimension, and he made his own Adam and Eve, to which he did the most badass thing ever. When he flew down and told Adam and Eve, "I got one rule for you: obey no one or worship anyone, including me," and then just flies off like a boss. But in terms of power, I'd say, let's see, what would you say about where the angels scale?
Angels?
Yeah.
They don't scale up, but I forget I think, which daughter is it? Is it Lucifer daughter or Michael daughter?
I don't
I
remember
had
the
Michael's.
daughter's
I
name.
always thought Michael was the stronger one.
It's no, I think Lucifer's the strongest, or they might be. I think they equal, right?
I thought Michael was the strongest.
No, they're equal. If they fight together, they're like equal to God.
Yeah, but the thing is, they got somebody that's stronger than both of them, though. It's like it's a girl. I forget her name though.
I don't know.
She got like black hair. Let me look this shit up. Hold up.
See, that's
Donna Troy.
I mean, the Sandmen probably beat them.
I don't know anything.
Oh, the Endless.
And then Zeus and niggas. So is it just like they're just in separate places, so that's why they don't interact, or like how does this work?
Yeah,
like Vertigo is literally owned by DC, but they only like cross over with like the comic like DC Comics like proper. Like Vertigo is his own imprint of comic,
What is
and that's
Vertigo?
where you get like that's what the Vertigo is, just another comic brand that DC has. It's basically where they do all the magic, all
Okay.
magic type shit,
Oh,
all
I
that
thought
shit.
you was
Like
talking about Count Vertigo. I was about to say, the fuck? That nigga got to do with anything.
No, Calvary trash.
He was
nah.
trash. He is kind of trash, actually. Now that I think about
And
it.
then nigga,
Hey, he was
DC got
giving
this
niggas
other
the
shit
hands
called
though sometimes.
Wildstorm. That's where you got like fucking what's that nigga name? Static Shock from and shit like that.
Yeah.
Nigga, they brought
From
that shit.
Vertigo?
Wait, were you talking about the
I thought Static
Milestone?
was Milestone.
Milestone. Wait, no,
Milestone went over like decades ago. So they sold them over.
Icon.
No, wait. Where? So who was the motherfuckers they got? They got
Vertigo's like Constantine, like fucking Swamp Thing,
Wait,
guys like that.
For Milestone, it was
Vertigo
Milestone was
the
Icon,
magic side
Static,
of DC.
Rocket, and
That's why you don't
that's
see
about
them
all the ones I
or
can
all
think
like
of who
that.
went over.
All of them, all of that magic shit is all in Vertigo. So you got that's why Constantine, Swamp Thing, all them motherfuckers Vertigo, but they make appearances in like DC Comics when magic is involved.
Did y'all nigga know Dr. Fate was Vandal Savage's son?
He is what?
Yeah, I
I'm
found that
not
out.
close.
I was
Yeah,
watching.
it
Well,
depends.
he's like a reincarnation of his son that died.
I mean,
Young Justice. I'm not sure.
It
I'm not
makes
sure
sense.
about
I
the
mean,
comics because I've never read a Dr. Fate book.
I mean,
But-
Vandal Savage has to have
depends
like
on
a
who-
bunch of kids, so I can see it. Like, it makes sense.
Yeah, he has a
It
bunch of
depends on
like we
who-
haven't even gotten to see Scandal Savage in Young Justice yet, and she's awesome.
Yo, hold up. It depends on like which version. I think because it's been different Dr. Fates throughout the years. Like Nabu is different than like he's this thing that inhabits the helmet. But the
No, Sensei.
that
In Young
Nabu-
Justice, they were basically
Nabu is
hinting at
Vandal Savage's son.
Nabu being the son of Vandal, not the wearer,
Yeah.
Nabu himself.
No, Nabu is not. Not Nabu himself is not. He older than Vandal Savage, literally.
Dude, I'm just saying that in
I was about to
the
say, yeah, I was about to say, the
context
newest
of
Young
Young Justice,
Justice.
that's what they're implying.
Yeah, they
That doesn't make
definitely.
sense though, because isn't Vandal Savage only as old as like the caveman? Nabu's like
He's
older than
as old
time.
as a man. Yeah.
Yeah, but now you just find out, nigga, Nabu been out here since like the beginning, like beginning, like.
You don't know nothing about that.
I don't know, man. And
Nabu
fucking
was literally the first, like one of the first people. He's like one of the first 5 people to have magic in the whole on the whole world, nigga. What the fuck are you talking about?
yeah, because Vandal Savage like birthed the fucking metas.
Nigga,
Him and
Vandal
all his
Savage is
children.
only empowered.
Yeah.
You know Vandal Savage is powered by a comet.
Yep.
Vandal
And
Savage.
that one
seen
comment made the
totality.
rest of the meta niggas.
It's crazy to have man. He lived that long. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, you know what's sad? You just find out the Marvel shit. They just brought the Avengers back, right? Every motherfucker on the planet that has powers is powered by the first powered by this thing called the first progenitor or the progenitor, right? And that's basically just a fallen celestial. And it's just like nigga, the celestial died because it was affected by this shit, and it's just leaked out as cosmic blood, and that shit soaked into the earth, and that's why everybody like got powers, or why mad shit is drawn on the earth. Like, bro, it's so trash. Marvel is so.
That's kind of crazy. I was say at least they got an excuse. Motherfucking Earth ain't got no goddamn excuse in DC. Them motherfuckers just unlucky.
What you mean they ain't got no excuse?
That
They got
big-
mad. They got mad excuses. What you mean?
I said, but like out of that big ass universe that DC got, everything draws back to Earth for some reason.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, you don't know what. No, because you could explain it through Vertigo, like nigga, like God and the devil, all that shit. That's all there on that side. You get to this side, you got the natural born niggas on Earth, like the Flash, all these motherfuckers, Hal Jordan. Of course, it's gonna be shit here because they from Earth. Niggas is vindictive. They trash because you from Earth. I'm gonna come fuck up your shit.
That's what I'm
Okay,
saying. Like niggas,
Yes.
like
At
they
least
have
with-
they have way too many problems for like the bullshit. Superman
I
coming
mean,
in a fucking problem because that only bred more issues.
Are there any
Fucking-
storylines that are just
at
off
least
Earth?
when it comes to to DC, it's not like with Marvel we're like the cosmic high order basically said, Earth, you're really fucking up. We're just going to imprison you so you can't associate with any other planets because we're not dealing with any more of you. Like that was a.
Now, what did you say, girl?
I said, are there any
There was-
storylines that take place completely away from Earth? Like they don't like.
Yes.
Yeah, a bunch of storylines. Guardians of the
Bunch of
They
Galaxy.
met Mongrel. They met that
Nah,
nigga in space.
He talking about like DC.
Oh yeah, there are a bunch of Green Lantern stories that take place way off Earth.
There's a
with
lot
Net-
of Superman ones too. Superman, Green Lantern,
Got to start Superman. But listen, right, Grim, the shit the most recent shit is
You in the Matrix, bro.
Get out the Matrix.
And take out. Yo, fuck you, Spidey. Go get an Echo. Yo, listen, right? So the most recent, that shit take place completely outer space. Like nigga, Brainiac, nigga imprisoned these fucking planets. He was going around the universe just imprisoning planets, right? And nigga, he was doing this because these planets was the key to Darkseid ruling the universe. Darkseid had made a plan when the universe was about to be like destroyed and reformed to take that energy and make it his own, so he could be the God, the one true God. And like Brainiac seen that shit, he hid these planets because these was the keys to the shit that he needed. And nigga, now they in these planets, like they got their own little justice. It's like, who was it? Cyborg, this nigga from Batman team, his name Azrael. You got Starfire. You got the new Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz. And who the fuck else?
All the niggas sound subpar as fuck.
Starfire is awesome. What you mean?
They say like Starfire, the only one that I think sound fire, and that's because Teen Titans. No, not Cyborg. Starfire, nigga. Cyborg, super duper booty.
Depending, who's booty?
Cyborg.
Cyborg, what? No, Cyborg's the man.
Bro, he ain't never been about no shit, bro. He ain't never been about no shit.
What are you talking? That nigga has the
He stole the moon one time.
My niggas. As a non-comic reader, you can trust me to tell you exactly what the media outside of the comics has told you, and that nigga ain't never been about shit, bro.
What about that time in Teen Titans? What about that time in Teen Titans show where he literally magicked himself back all of his limbs and used like magic technology crap?
Yeah,
What
had
about
the
that
Marines
time in Teen?
turn himself
What
into
about that
stone?
time in Teen Titans when he was fighting Atlas and nigga he went above 100. He was at like 110 or some shit.
Or even better, when they fought Trigon, he had them big ass cannons hooked up to the T-tower.
Yeah, it was like nobody's going in here.
I think
Dude,
Cyborg's
that
the
was
best
so
black
awesome
superhero.
as a kid.
I think Cyborg's the best black superhero, for being honest.
For real, he was.
You gonna be fucked.
No.
Yeah,
John Stewart. John Stewart.
I respect your opinion, Spidey, but I would say Static Shock. I would say Static Shock.
I was just about to say Static, bro. I was way more connected with Static than Cyborg.
Y'all niggas don't like Static. Yeah.
How dare you?
I like Static. Y'all niggas don't like Static.
That's why I said I feel offended. How dare you try to gatekeep me?
Powerful source.
Now, Static's cool. They need to make
That
Static
nigga
Shock
becomes
movies.
a god when he gets older.
Oh, for real? He gets strong as fuck? Tell me about older Static, bro. Because as a kid, he was limited.
Yeah, when he gets older,
we
he's
don't
like
really
basically
have
a god amongst
an
men.
adult version of Static Shock in the comics, except for in his original series, where basically we get a glimpse into the future, but we don't see him do anything because he retired at that point. He's like in his 30s or something. He married his high school girlfriend. They had kids. Basically, Black Lightning before Black Lightning.
Yeah, he's way cooler than Black Lightning. Like the
Yeah,
fuck?
he was cooler than Black Lightning. Black Lightning was cool and all, but
Nah.
Static was cooler.
He was like, I'm just gonna absorb that lightning. He never had black lightning.
Black Lightning.
Come on.
Yo, the
That could've been
fucking
taken
Twitter
down.
post when it said black DC version. They put like the cap.
Oh yeah, the force.
Yeah. She's like, give it to me. I can take it anyway. He's like, you ever had black lightning? It was like girls yelling. I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
That shit was funny as fuck, bro. I ain't see that one because it looked like a straight knockoff of Static Shock. So, that shit I didn't fuck with none of the live action ones actually for Netflix and shit or anything like that. The only one that did seem, I saw a trailer of it and that shit seemed badass. Was the Punisher shit? The scene where he fought in the jail cell? That was badass. Besides that, none of them really seemed interesting or good.
You gotta watch Daredevil and Luke Cage, bro. Those are the
Yeah,
shit.
Daredevil and Punisher are really good.
No, I seen the Daredevil. He fought some nigga with a knife outside while it was raining, some shit like that.
Like, yeah, the ninja nigga he fights was a really good fight. The fucking fight against what's his name? The fucking fight against Bullseye and Wilson Fisk. That was just yikes.
Dude, there's a Daredevil story that is awesome. It's called Daredevil End of Days, and it's awesome.
Daredevil is on.
Yeah, especially in that story. Ironically, in that story, there's literal Daredevil because he died in the beginning of the story, like in the first few pages.
They be trying to make some niggas seem cool, but like, honestly, the coolest niggas are probably like Let me not say that's all opinionated.
You can
No,
say
it's
it,
all
man.
subjective. It's all subjective. Just go ahead.
I don't say it, man.
All right, so
Don't be scared.
So we got Constantine, he up there. Green Lanterns are all up there. Dr. Adam, kinda. Never mind. He don't even really seem that cool, but he all right. The Martian
He's smart as
Manhunter.
shit, though.
Yeah. His demeanor and shit. The Martian Manhunter is badass.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, bro. The whole battle aspect for her shit, that is super fucking interesting. I just want there to hop into that a little bit more, but like she's like she has super badass potential. Ghost Rider, as I mentioned, Dr. Manhattan to a certain extent, but those niggas that are like extra super broken, it's just so hard to get into their stories like that, bro. Like for example, the Guardians of the Galaxy, that's one of the ones that like it's regular niggas to an extent, but I wasn't necessarily sold on it until I saw the Marvel Universe. So I'm not saying that overpowered niggas are in general trash, or they're the only ones that are trash. I'm just saying that like a lot of the overpowered niggas that they have in DC, I just feel like they don't know how to write niggas sometimes. Like, why does every nigga like that's cosmic or something like that?
See, you don't read comics though. You don't read comics. It's not a lot of niggas don't be mad cosmic entities and shit like that in DC. Like in main
Yeah,
DC.
if anything, it's more of a Marvel thing for cosmic things to be prevalent.
Yeah.
Yep. Marvel's better
Like-
than DC.
Spidey, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Come on.
So you telling me
Come on.
when Zeus, Hercules, Trigon, Mr. Pitalik, the Darkseid, the Lance, all them niggas showed up in one storyline, and that wasn't convoluted in terms of continuity?
That's injustice. That's not in continuity. That's like what I'm telling you is that's another universe.
No, I get that, but I'm saying they can't exist.
The only time is
Yeah, they can exist, just like how in Marvel the Beyonders, the Celestials, Mephistoles, and pretty much all of the higher demons can all exist in Marvel at one time.
Doesn't DC have the Source and the One Above All or something like that?
Yeah, and Marvel also has the Void and freaking what's that thing's that? Oh, Galactus.
No, the DC got the presence. Marvel got the One Above All.
See, that's probably the only thing that I'm complaining about. The fact that like you can have such a variety of power and entities in the series, and they technically have the ability to interact with each other, but they so often don't. It's
What purpose would it serve for them to talk to each other?
What purpose would it serve to say that they exist or to have them exist?
For different storylines, like
different
they just
yeah,
introduce different characters like that are that strong. Like some of these powerful entities are like magic based. Some of them are like cosmic based, I guess. As with their energy doesn't draw from magic. It's like the power cosmic in Marvel is a big thing. It's like a resource that's like empowers like guys like Galactus are pretty much made of it and they can empower humans. Then there's guys like fucking Mephisto who's like a demon. So they're just different. It's like a pantheon of gods, like Grim. Like how there's different gods and like it's just like that's how it is with Marvel and DC. They're just characters of varying levels of cosmic strength.
I know, but the way they describe it, some of these niggas sound like their powers are within other people's jurisdictions and shit. like a reality warper. He's in the same universe as Superman, but apparently Superman can beat some reality warpers, some shit like that. Like,
Well, yeah, you can still outsmart them. That's mostly how Superman always deals with mental playlooks. He has to outsmart him and get him to say his name backwards or something.
Yeah, that's his own. Yeah, if he says his name backwards, he has to go back to his home dimension for like 90 days or something.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Superman
there's always
always
caveats to there are caveats to everything.
Bro, what type of like, man? What the fuck? If you say your name back, bruh, nigga.
I like how that's the thing that sets you off about
Bro, what the fuck, dog?
That's true.
You know how trash that is, bro? Like, come on, bro.
It's trash, but it's kind of interesting that like Superman for the first time doesn't win a situation by fighting. It's by outsmarting. Like he always finds a way to get him to say his name backwards or write it backwards, and like so it's a different situation each time because the last way wasn't going to work again. So we have to think.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Damn.
I like how taken aback you were by that girl. Like, well, that's all it takes to beat him.
That's kind of why I like Mr. Mxyzptlk, because it's not just that stupid shit that he has to have his name set backwards.
How do you say that nigga name backwards?
No, don't say it, bro. He won't come.
I don't even want to.
I don't know.
His name forward, bro. Like I can.
I think he's the only one who's even capable of saying it because of his dimensional origin. Like we can't physically say it, but he probably can.
How the fuck does Superman make that nigga say his name backwards? Like it's like just some normal shit.
Yo, Grim, Mr. Pitterlick is basically his Joker, so it's like he not really trying to harm Superman or nothing, nigga. He really just fun, but he just an all powerful ass nigga in this dimension.
Yeah, Batman has one too. His name is Batmite.
Yeah.
He's also
Hold on. His name is what?
Batmite.
Batmite?
No, Batmite.
Like Dust Mite, MITE,
Yes.
Batmite.
Yes.
They tripping, bro.
They introduced the Batmite one during a time when DC was just like goofing off with all their shit.
Yeah, during Silver Age. And what's funny is Grant Morrison does this weird thing where like during the story Batman R.I.P. where Bruce Wayne is like gets near death. He basically retcons it, like all of that goofy stuff that happened during Silver Age, like Batman turning purple for a set amount of time, or him only being able to survive underwater. That all happened in continuity. It was just when he was tripping out on drugs. So Batmite was just a figment of his imagination.
Yeah, then there was the time we got turned into a baby and he still like foiled crimes as a baby and shit. As like Bat Baby.
Yeah.
It was like weird.
Are truly wild.
Yeah, they didn't really take like the shit seriously, like they just
the Silver Age was like they couldn't actually because the Silver Age was basically when there was like a lot more restrictions on comic books back then. Like you couldn't really get away with some of the stuff that Batman was doing back in the Golden Age.
The shit got goofy, like real goofy.
But then it got more serious, and then what we got Superman, Red Sun, Superman. Yo, listen, Grim, Superman.
Didn't that nigga bench press a planet?
Listen,
no, that's also Superman.
But listen, Superman Red Sun, bruh, is nigga. He don't land in Kansas. He land in the Soviet Union, and he get raised by the by the Russians and shit.
Yeah, he basically becomes a communist.
Yes. The whole world is communist, Grim. He took that bitch over.
Bro, for real, dog?
Yeah, it's an Elseworlds tale.
Yeah. And guess who's the main man trying to stop him?
Batman.
You know it, straight.
It was a weird Soviet Batman.
Yep.
They got a story where Batman become Green Lantern.
Yeah, there's also a story where Superman becomes Batman.
Yeah, it's a story where Superman and Batman basically like they get like somebody time travel and just abduct them and raise them to be evil versions of themselves, right? And it's basically like, nigga, they just take over the whole world. Like everybody just worships Superman and Batman. They got the Justice League shit all set up, but it's only Superman and Batman.
All right, so what non like extra broken nigga from the DC verse can beat Eisen in a good fight?
Eisen? Oh.
You said a non-extra broken nigga?
Yeah, like what level of nigga would it take to beat Eisen?
Can we count the Spectre as non-extra broken?
No, the Spectre.
Well, it's a
I know we can't. I know we can't.
The Spectre is like God's wrath embodied, bro.
Listen, Grim. Listen, Grim. Grim literally will take a broken dude to be Eisen. Last, his ain't like.
Nah, it wouldn't take no broken dude. It's just like Grim. What's wrong with you?
Reverse Flash could beat him.
Like if you can bend reality, that's broken.
That's broken.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's the Flash, man. Like he can bend reality.
The Flash can't bend reality, nigga.
Technically, like Wally West could. Wally West could do a lot of crazy shit with the Speed Force. The nigga could make clothes out of the Speed Force. Like what the fuck?
What?
Like, how does that even apply?
What?
But that's not that.
I'm not reading the Flash.
That's Speed Force creation.
That's why I don't like Wally West. They just give a bunch of weird powers for no reason.
Like them motherfuckers rewrote the timeline a bunch of times, man. Like
yeah,
that's not bending reality.
Nah, just because you could travel through time.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you guys think Raven could beat Eisen?
Raven, yeah, if she tap into that dark side. I mean, what's the name power?
Giving up the dark side a little.
Trigon power. Yeah, that Trigon power, she could do it.
But Raven with her brothers though, they were curb stop Eisen together.
Yo, remember in the Teen Titans joint when Beast Boy and Cyborg went into Raven, different Ravens?
Yeah, and they saw like her emotions is different in different cloaks.
Didn't they all fuse become like White Raven, and then the White Raven?
Yeah,
all
yeah, because they met Trigon for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Some niggas was terrified. They were like, ooh,
Let me see. You said Isaac, nigga. Okay, so let me give you some
Isaac
people.
can murk a lot of niggas though.
Off
Let's not trip.
Right? Superman could do it. Flash could do it. Green Lantern could do it. Motherfucking, but it's just like this nigga with that hypnosis, right? But did they know he got hypnosis powers? You remember?
No. It's a.
No, this is their first time meeting, so no prep time or anything.
That's what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Isaac folds them. Isaac gonna fold them.
Isaac will fold a lot of these niggas on first glance. Like honestly, if his power would be considered magic, then he might fold Superman. To be honest.
Can my niggas be bloodlusted?
He's gonna fold Superman. It don't matter.
Yeah, Sensei, fight to the death.
Okay, if my niggas is bloodlusted, man, Flash did not. He not getting the moment to think of nothing, nigga. Flash, he doing him dirty.
Picoseconds, my nigga.
Okay, yeah, I give you Flash. Listen, I give you Flash. Superman,
no, nigga, Superman, nigga, not in picoseconds. I think he had like decoseconds or some shit. He's still doing his ass dirty.
Would Black Adam count as overly? I feel like Black Adam.
No, not really.
No,
he has a limited amount of power.
Wait, question. This is a real question.
Now, Black Adam will
get folded. Can you guys know? Wait, you guys know? You may fold them. Good.
Are we using Soul Society Eisen or EOS Eisen?
I was thinking in the series Eisen.
I'm saying in the series.
Yeah, but I can beat you. I can beat you. I don't gotta kill you, man. We superheroes, man. We ain't trying to kill you.
Bro, you got me fucked up, bro.
Wait, no, dude, no. If we're just banishing or imprisoning him, there are loads of dude. Let's go.
Yeah, don't make it.
Yeah, Mirror Master can just throw him into the mirror world.
Okay, so.
Yeah, y'all done fucked up.
So say something. I'll ask you
What's the negative zone? Fight in the negative zone forever.
Let's say it's a death fight. If it's a death fight, Eisen death fight.
Then Eisen wins by attrition, technically.
Yeah, like so you want niggas. Okay, listen, right? The Flash could literally, if you gonna give Eisen a physical form so he could fight, right? Nigga, the Flash is just gonna vibrate his molecules out of existence, nigga. Shit's gone, nigga. He split up, nigga. He done.
That's cool. I guess I give you the Flash. Since I said I give you the Flash, I'm saying Superman gets folded. Wonder Woman folded.
Superman
get folded.
Superman fly backs in time before he get the Hogyoku. He take the Hogyoku. Hogyoku
Trash.
Superman.
Low-key, Flash can do that
can't
shit
take
too.
the Hogyoku, nigga.
Yes, he can.
Superman get Zatara and Zatanna in here.
Yeah, he can.
Where? No, you
Him
can't.
and- Him and Flash can do that shit if they so choose.
Get Zatanna in here.
Yeah.
You can't take
it. Listen, I get Zatanna in here. Zatanna beat Eisen backwards, nigga. It's over. It's over.
Oh, that bitch, she got super nerfed in the recent Constantine movie, apparently. Y'all niggas ain't seen that shit?
And you said
do you mean the animated movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that one. The one with Batman in it?
No. There's another one. Y'all niggas don't fuck with Constantine,
I haven't
huh?
seen that one.
Is that
I'm not really a fan of him. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like,
I really
I
like him.
Swamp Thing. I like Swamp Thing more than Constantine, to be honest.
Oh yeah, they were talking about that nigga's like a fucking broken ass nigga. What's up with him? Tell me his story.
He's connected to the green, which is basically the living embodiment of all like the plant life of the earth. So like he has a bunch of crazy powers revolved around like that.
Like what he can. What?
But I forget
he can make an unlimited amount of avatars like out of like plant life and mold and spores and shit. And he can he's basically the planet. He's basically Earth.
Yeah. But nigga, he gets his power up, nigga, where nigga I forget what it's called, but nigga, he basically the life itself, like I'm not gonna say life itself of the whole universe, but like nigga, like the plant life of everything in the universe, nigga. He basically become like nigga, no, he gets some shit even more broken than that, bro. This nigga, let me look this shit up, bro. Grim, give me 2 minutes, bro, because he become like some all powerful ass nigga with this one power up. Shit is crazy.
What the fuck? I didn't know that shit was like that, bro. They went to that nigga talking about some like, oh, we need your help to stop this big ass shit. I was like, it's a fucking swamp monster, bro.
He's more than that, bro. He's like he might just look. He doesn't just kind of look like a swamp nigga, but he's kind of like a god. He can shapeshift and like he can make anything pretty much out of plants. He can like make wings, boats, like infrastructure. He can shrink down to microscopic levels. It's just crazy shit.
What's up with Shazam? Why isn't Shazam like top in the verse?
He is.
He kind of is.
Like he just doesn't get his. Go ahead.
They make him seem out to be like not the strongest in the team. Like they make it seem like Wonder Woman and Superman can just beat him.
Because he's a kid in a man's body, so like they're adults, but he's like at the end of the day he's just a kid with like the ability to turn to like full grown man. So he's not as good at fighting. And it's not really like this anymore, but he used to have this weakness where if he said like the word Shazam, he'd go back into a kid. So that was like a major weakness.
Yeah, but now it's stupid because his name is Shazam, but he still uses the word to transform. It's very stupid.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So I thought that was so. Because isn't that how they dealt with Black Adam in Injustice? They made him say
Shazam.
Yeah.
Originally his name was Captain Marvel, but then like the whole thing with Marvel, they just changed the name to Shazam. But that fucked it up because before, if he said Shazam, like that would take his powers away because he needed to say it to get them. So now his name's
because
Shazam.
you need to call on the power of the wizard named Shazam.
Yeah, so now he's like, well, I'm Shazam, but it doesn't work like it used to. But other characters, it works like that, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So they kind of fucked it up.
Like, it's stupid that he's able to say his name without lightning striking him and turning him back into a kid.
Yeah, that was a huge fun.
Unless he wants it to.
Yeah, that was a
apparently.
huge. That was a fun part of the character before, like how if he slipped up and said the name by accident, he'd like lose all his powers.
Yeah.
And like that's how a guy like Dr. Savannah would get over on him because he's like, oh Shazam.
Yeah, but now it's literally impossible for that scenario to happen because unless they say that he can, unless they like preface it as he can only summon the lightning when he wants to summon it with Shazam, with the word, then it doesn't make sense that he's able to get tricked.
He ain't gonna get tricked no more.
Yeah,
they probably took that out.
That was one of the funnest parts of the character.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, you might think it's annoying, Grim, but I thought it was like really.
That's just it's like they do a bunch of tropes like that where it's a continuous like folly type thing all the time in different mediums, and it gets annoying. So I would think that shit was like played out after a while, or is it not?
But that's like the thing with that's the thing with Shazam though. Like Captain Marvel, he was kind of like more of a lighthearted. Like he was the most popular superhero of his time because like he was really like it was a mix of like superhero action and like comedy and stuff because there was the whole gimmick with him. Like he's a kid. Yeah, he's basically like the movie Big, but if like it was a superhero movie. It's basically like that. It's kind of like a comedic premise. Like he was
the first to fly. He was the first super. Like Captain Marvel flew. He flew before Superman. He had his own radio show before Superman. Like this nigga, he was big as fuck.
He really resonated with kids. Like his name in the comic nickname is the Big Red Cheese. He's like kind of like a comedic character in a lot of respects. So the whole gimmick of him saying Shazam, like that was another element of like the zaniness. Like you better be careful. Don't say Shazam. I get why you think it annoying, but I thought it was really. That's why I thought it was really cool because it made him a unique superhero. Like it was really unique.
But after like 50 years of that shit, though, man, we gotta move.
I don't know about.
I mean, moving on is okay until you retcon his entire personality to be the antithesis of what it originally was.
He's kind of like an asshole now too. Like they made him older, so he's kind of like a little shit stain.
Oh, like a smart mouth. Yeah. But that was like, cause I don't know if y'all seen it. It was a little like a side story movie, where Black Adam came and it was Wonder Woman there and Superman.
I watched that.
Yeah.
Back when it was on Netflix.
Yep.
It was a part of.
Yeah, they made one with Spectre too.
I forgot what the main
DC Showcase.
The Captain Marvel story was the main thing. Then after that, there was the Spectre short, and then there was a Green Arrow short.
Not sure about the Captain Marvel part. I haven't seen the animated show for her, but regardless, in there he did have those smart mouth tendencies, and that's kind of like what made me like. Not necessarily like him because the whole kid aspect isn't that appealing anymore, but like it made him like not a fucking a saint who went through some like crazy ass situation and then he fucking got powers because of it. It was like he was a dumbass kid and then something happened to happen where he got this powers. That to me seems more like I don't like it when a story tries to get too realistic about something and it doesn't make sense. Like don't tell me like this guy like fucking fell into a pot of fucking chemicals and then something happened that turned his DNA into this and that. That's like, shut up. Just like there's some magic shit or something like that that's simple, easy to get. I can reference it. It's not gonna have plot holes later on and shit because that whole chemical thing, there are plenty of niggas that experience shit like that too all the time and nothing happens. Like why didn't fucking Joker, for example? I know they're in different realms. I know that like fucking like a lot of the Marvel things have that origin as well.
You're asking why the Joker didn't become the Flash? It was different chemicals plus the lightning that struck Barry was Barry himself.
Yeah,
you could give those explanations. You could say that, but the nigga selling chemicals, bruh.
Yeah, but again, they're different chemicals, and the lightning that struck Barry was Barry himself, making him the Flash.
All right. I'm just saying the general. It still falls in a certain category of a not necessarily cliche, but a stereotypical origin of powers. And I'm not saying that it's played out. I'm just saying that like I would prefer a much simpler one compared to something that's like stereotypical and that complex. Like One Punch Man, like as weird as those stories are, as those origin stories are, I prefer them than over some like long ass drawn out. Oh, my mother got killed by this enemy, and then he injected me with some like poison that actually made me stronger instead of killing me and shit like that. I would prefer a story where a spider crawled in my ear, so I turned into a half spider type shit.
Yeah, but like the thing about that is that like I personally like the different because like basically during the time everyone wanted to create like a superhero, so like I like the different origin stories because it's like kind of cool But and like you need the part about someone like because it kind of just like Grim. If you got superpowers, would you be a superhero? No, you do your own shit, man. So like they need a justification as to why these people are like be doing good things. Like because if I got 2 powers, I'd serve myself. I'm not gonna go out and like protect other people. I consider myself a nice guy, but like that'd be asking too much for me to use my powers for like not my own gain. So like they need a realistic reason as to why this guy with awesome powers, like Superman, isn't just saying, you know what, fuck you guys, I'm in charge, and there's very little you can do about it.
I mean, to a certain extent, like, I get it. I'm just like, I'm looking for some new shit. That's why I've been like trying different stories. I read Jagan. I read Solo Leveling. Plan on reading Gosu soon. I plan on reading Tower of God soon. I'm trying to try different things, and I know those are all like within the same genre, but like, I'm tired of getting the same.
Nah, you gotta try. Tower of God, nigga. Tower of God.
Here we go.
It's gonna be the same shit, bro. It's gonna be one nigga trying to get to a goal.
What? You said it's gonna be the same shit, Grim. I promise you, it's not no shonen.
Elaborate.
You gonna see the main nigga get folded. He gonna get folded. You gonna see niggas each arc he can't beat. It's gonna be so long before he can beat them. Like, bro, it's shit that niggas die, and they ain't coming back. They dead.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, all right, I'll give you this example, and it might spoil it for you, but fuck it, you should have read it by now. The reason why like Vagabond to me is the best story is not because they have that stereotypical thing where there's a character trying to reach a certain goal, but inadvertently and throughout the entire time, he's slowly getting to like his psychological death. Like he's realizing that his goal, how do I put it? The closer he gets to his goal, the more he doesn't desire it.
Oh, I see. Kind of like.
But.
Yeah, kind of like how that didn't the guy who won like the he wanted to be the champion tennis player, but when he actually won it, he just didn't care anymore, like because he had wasted all that time or whatever. Like kind of like that.
Something like that, but it's done in a different way. I don't want to spoil exactly how it's done, so niggas might actually read it. But like, that's why I like that story so much, because it's more than that one stereotypical element. And the entire time they're supporting this underhanded storyline that you don't necessarily realize, and they cover up with different characters that have crazy ass great development, so much emotional shit, amazing fights. But at the end of the day, it's really just about this nigga in his mind. It's really just about him wanting to become the best swordsman, and then him finding out what is the best swordsman.
We were talking about it earlier, Grim, but I feel like based on how you just described the story, I feel like, have you read Berserk? Like, have you read some of it?
No.
I feel like you really like Berserk because, again, like, I like Berserk. I don't think it's the best, like, manga, but that's definitely the best manga. Like, Guts is the best, like, anime manga protagonist I have, like, between, like, of all, like, Naruto, Luffy, fucking Vash, fucking the JoJo's. Guts has the most development. He has the most character. Like, he's a legitimately well-written character. Like, and they really describe, like, his going to his psychology, like, throughout the whole story. Like, and how he grows as a character. It's like everything that, like I'm sure you've heard about the child rape. You've heard about them before, Grim, right? like people like to bring that up as to why Berserk is like you shouldn't read it, but it serves a purpose. Like, it's not just there for shock value. Like, that really plays into Guts as a person for the rest of the story. Like, it has, I don't want to spoil anything, but it has a profound impact on him as a character. So, like, while I don't like seeing little boys get raped, I'm glad it's in the story because, like,
say it again. Say the phrase again.
I'm not saying that again. Like, nah, you got it.
Please don't egg it on.
I'm glad he got raped because
niggas are probably gonna misquote me on this, but I'm not taking it like it.
Yeah, nah, you down. You're done.
Whatever, man. Someone else talk. Like that's.
No, no, I actually said something even more a while ago, but nobody brought it up.
All right, listen, right, Grim, man. Tower God is not your stereotypical motherfucking what's the name, right? So at first you think the goal is, nigga, he going up the tower for the bitch. But that is an underlying goal. They are using this bitch to get him to go up the tower because niggas have an ulterior motive for this one ass boy. And it turns into like all these other plots and like people trying to stop him and shit, like just it's like an outward oppression towards like it's a lot of shit that go on in this shit, bro. It's not even just about the main character. Like you get other plots, like nigga, like it's a king of the tower, nigga. He got princesses, but his princesses can't have kids, so nigga, or they can't get other nigga. One nigga shit,
you couldn't have
his blood, and they have they kill a fucking the kid's parents, and now the kid just left in the tower. So now the kid going up for revenge. It's a lot of shit that's interconnected, that all intertwined in this shit. Like it's a lot of it's shit out here, dog. Like, dog, you ain't about to front on the tower, man. and Spidey, guts fine and all that, right? But you ain't seen Gintoki yet, man. You ain't seen what my boy had to go through, the shit that he's been put through out here in this fucking world, aliens, and you can't use your sword, nigga. Like Gintoki's the most well developed and rounded anime character. He is the main character, GOAT, nigga.
I'm just saying he better have went through a lot because like Guts' character is really suffering, bro. Guts has had got dealt a really bad hand. Like I'm not trying like you're saying that
Gintoki got dealt a really bad hand too.
That's fine, but like I feel like Guts, but in like I feel like it all plays into his
We can
character.
spoil each other.
I'm not really trying to.
I think I'm checking out. I'm checking out for tonight. Thanks for having me.
It's not really later, Delvin. It's not really about being a pissing contest.
All right, see you guys later.
The thing I like Guts because his suffering not only does it play into his character development, but the themes of the story. Like a big theme is like struggling against fate, and like a lot of Guts' suffering plays into how he, no matter what he goes through, it makes him stronger, and he won't bend the knee.
Yeah, I know that's fine. That's Gintoki too, right? It's not about struggling against fate with Gintoki. It's about struggling against himself, nigga. There ain't no fate over here, man. Ain't nothing destined to happen. We making destiny, nigga. We trying to make shit happen. Like people say shit is destiny. We over here making it happen, man. Listen, right, man. Listen.
Like, go ahead.
Listen, man. Let me give you. You heard this before, man. Gintoki's from a village that got completely wiped out because nigga they were still teaching the way of the sword when the sword was in this a band. So he wandered a battlefield, surviving. Nigga, the battle, like the world is literally a battlefield, like they in fucking war with the fucking aliens and the shogun and the government, because the shogun and the government sided with the aliens and the samurais rebelling. So he's wandering the battlefield, surviving the best way he can. Fighting niggas off that's trying to kill him or whatever, picking up swords from dead bodies, and that's a little bit of Gintoki backstory right there. I ain't gonna tell you too much, bro, cause that shit is that boy is savage, bro. If I said if I said what he was doing,
shit. All right,
I'll see for myself. Go ahead.
Heading out, Grim? Yeah. That was it for today's stream. Decided to do some lounge shit. I'll be chilling. Like the video. We got the One Punch Man podcast coming up this weekend, so check that out. The 7 Deadly Sins chapter is going to be out next Monday as well, so check out for that review. And we'll see you boys later on, man. Yo ho!